Hello, welcome everyone to seeding tournament number 1 for season 7 of the Oceanink Series. It's been a little bit of a scramble to get things going. Sneaky, thank you for pointing out the title still says Big Urchins. We're getting there.
A work in progress.
Yeah, as usual, there were technical issues, internet issues, blah, 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 but, we'll get there eventually. So I am Calmacat. I will be commenting throughout the entire tournament today, and at least for this round and possibly future rounds, I'm also being joined by Yosoan.
Hey, how you doing?
You have so much more energy than me right now, I think.
I think I'm finding it as we go along here. I didn't think I had it in me, but it turns out it was there all along.
Fair enough.
Now that we've already covered our moral, we can focus on Splatoon.
Yes. I am actually very keen for this first match. When we were picking matches, we're like, we could try and pick a possible Div 1, Div 2 match that looks like it's going to be hype, or we could just go with, a couple of fun teams, because why not?
Absolutely, and because it's Swiss bracket, we'll see those high div teams a bit later on. Like right now, let's get into something interesting, something fun and unique. I'm all about it.
Yeah, definitely. So we have Problematic versus Blooper Reel. I don't think I have many notes on either of these teams, although I have been told that Octari is how we pronounce the third person in the Problematic roster there.
Yeah, great. Yeah, Blooper Reel, quite well-known team. They played a lot in Off the Hook yesterday. They have Owlsy now, recent addition to the team, so they are going to be bringing a lot of Slayer potential for their team here. As we look into our opening lineup, I mean, yeah, T-Tech for Owlsy makes a lot of sense. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Rambo loves those Tetras and will often be rocking something to that degree. From Problematic, a bit more of a long-range comp. Love to see a fresh Squiffer. It's not something that gets a lot of play. Interesting to see how it plays out for him. Yeah,
definitely. Squiffer and Heavy as well. It's sort of two very different ranged things, I guess. No, I was thinking Squiffer isn't so good at painting, but I guess it is actually. Also, this is a very fast push here. Low just running straight in with the Rainmaker. Very nice. That did not take long.
Wow. I think right there, very clear to see Blooper Reel got the splats. They got a lovely yeet on the shutdown there. As someone was blocking the Rainmaker's path. They just dunked it. They just won. Well done to them. That was incredibly quick. I know Wahoo can be quick if you can't set up a good defense, but that was eerily quick. Blooper Reel reeling today.
Yeah, I didn't see the splats at the end there, but
I think it was Problematic had 3 total. Could have been an assist in there as well. Blooper Reel had 2-2-1-1. So it wasn't even that decisive. It was just that it happened so quickly that there was no response.
Yeah, even if you get them fast enough that you get a wipe, and you have a bit of swim seed or something on your Rainmaker character, Rainmaker player, carrier, something like that. That word.
Yeah.
You can really get around the corner very quickly. Yeah, there we go. Absolutely. Hey, sound is fixed. All right.
I was wondering about that. Excellent. So Rainmaker, very quick mode, very quick round. Hopefully Problematic are going to be able to wrestle back some control as we move on to Splat Zone's Walleye. Won't be over as quickly.
No, and we are doing play all 3 today. So this is not a best of. All the teams have to play all 3 maps no matter what the score is. We're doing this, originally it was meant to be best of 5, but we decided to change it, partly because we had quite a few teams today, which is amazing to see. I think we ended up with 16 teams playing, and it should be, theoretically, a bit faster. We don't want to take up... Yeah. We don't want to take up, your entire Sunday afternoon. We need to give you some time to go relax. But it just means that we can hopefully get through the rounds a bit faster and, get a nice tournament going.
Data, so we can really make those divisions as tight as possible.
Yes.
So let's get some more data. Problematic, switching out to more traditional comp here, probably after being overwhelmed last time, they wanted something a bit more safe. So we've got the Dapple, that's the Clear Dapples, and the Tri-Slosh, giving them a bit faster firepower. Hopefully that works out in their favor.
Yeah, definitely. The ball point as well is going to be an interesting choice. A bit of range there. Very short range on the part of Blooper Reel here, but looks like they're going in for the picks. They've got 2 down on Blooper Reel at the moment, though. They managed to take 1 down on Problematic. Might get a second. Oh,
Ooh.
nice cancel.
That was excellent, and they've been able to maintain control over the zone this whole time as well. The fights have been going pretty back and forth, but now the Blob Lobber rolls in, the pressure starts coming in, and the members start dropping. Problematic were able to take out the Blob Lobber early on before, but if they can't get rid of it now, they're not going to be able to push back in easily.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm seeing a good bit of teamwork here, I think, from Blooper Reel. The Inkjet firing at someone and someone coming up around the other corner to try and get that last hit. I think a bomb came out as well. They definitely seem to be working together. Nobody's really splitting up too much from the main pack. So
yeah, it's like they've identified all the pressure points they need to apply to really hold this zone down. Even one wide flank getting caught out due to good communication. The Intel's going to provide a bit of neutral ink, but with no one able to get close, I think that's going to be a 100-0. Blooper Reel are ready to move up in the divisions, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
They're looking for that Div 1 spot.
Well, I mean, we've got Pit Viper in the chat. What division are you guys aiming for this season? Because, I mean, that is the thing today. Like, this is one of the ways in which teams get placed into their divisions. So teams really want to be, trying their best. Because, yeah, in the end, it doesn't matter where you place in the seeding tournaments. What matters is your scores in each of the individual matches. So it's definitely always interesting to see what results we have come out of this.
It's definitely nice to place high and do well, but yeah, even getting a single round off your opponent can really make a difference when it comes to seeding.
Oh yeah, if you're returning team from Div 4 last season, and you take 1 game off a Div 1 or 2 team, that matters. Like, you don't have to win if you can take 1 game off them. We will look at that when we're doing divisions next week. Yeah, next week, I think.
Yeah, well, we've got another seeding next week, so
yes.
It'll probably be after that, I imagine. Or before that. Ooh, no, probably after. It makes sense, right? You need that data.
Yeah, so we have seeding 2 next Saturday. We also have another tournament or 2 that are counting for seeding, which still need to announce. Haven't quite gotten to that. That's next Sunday, if I remember correctly. And we do, of course, also have the option for teams to play seeding scrims, which there's a few rules around, but mostly, like, if a team can't make any of the big tournaments, then they can organize to have a scrim against a team who did make a tournament, and then we use that for seeding data. And I think that goes through till Monday next week. So yeah, there's a bit of time still for the teams to get in and try and get as much seeding data as they can for us, because every little bit helps, and then we'll do divisions after that. So it's gonna be interesting.
For sure. I mean, yeah, teams want to really be positioned with players of their skill level. The more you play, the more we can allow that to happen. Like, it's all well and good to say that you've made it to Div 3 or whatever div you're aiming for, but if that div is too tough for you, you're going to have a pretty rough season. So it's not all about just getting the highest div, it's about getting the most appropriate div. So
yeah, that's
all data matters. Alright, looks like we're moving into our 3rd round here of Clams on Blackbelly. This was the helming of the half-pipe push. People love just throwing every special they can at that half-pipe.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure Blooper Reel, with their amazing ability to get 100-0 knockouts in this set, are going to be aiming for something along those lines.
Yeah. I mean, looking at these weapons, I'm just quickly trying to categorize the specials here. Interesting choices.
Sure, for sure. I mean, also the Explosher is going to be able to provide a bit longer of a support, and Slosher's a king on this map. It's a well-known fact, but I wonder if they're going to be able to get the sightlines they need to really make effective use of that.
Yeah, I mean, if it can get up on the top of the tower in the middle of the map, then an Explosh can do quite a bit of damage from there. But we do also have a Dynamo on Problematic that can do the same kind of thing. Does get taken out by Alzi right as I say that. But
Blooperil are still playing around with their new team composition. They have quite a few players who are new to this team, so we'll probably see Owlsy going on quite a bit of solo play. And as Shock was saying yesterday, it's all about keeping up with Owlsy's pace, and they are doing a wonderful job at that.
oh yeah, that's for
Moving
sure.
up with them and making full use of that offensive capability they have on their team.
Yeah. 65 points we got down to there. Natty is still alive. There's 4 clams somewhere on Blooper Reel, but they're still coming in. Oh, there we go.
Don't know if Natty's going to be able to find them. Owlsy does come in with some extra clams, which will keep this push going. They
Yeah.
are losing control of the basket, but it's not something they couldn't snipe in with Rambo here. No, 3 clams full shy. That could have been a significant amount of points, but instead they've lost 2 players and could potentially lose more.
Very nice snipe there by Octoray. I almost said Octoray. I'm glad that they gave us the commentary notes for that one.
Absolutely, very helpful. Okay, so we're seeing Problematic just trying to establish some mid control, get some clam gather going. They have 3 specials ready to go once they do have those clams together. Hopefully they don't have to expend them to keep themselves alive right now. Nice trade, able to get the shot. It's very hard to get a shot on a splatter shot that is running into your face. But if any charger can do it, it's a Squiffer.
Oh yeah, and I mean Octoray's done that twice now, so I'm curious to see how they're going to go in the rest of the matches today. Anyway, we got a Julie battle happening here, very nicely done.
Yep, the CDS's 2 rolls, trumping out over the 4 rolls of the Tetras when they don't have anywhere to escape to.
Yeah.
That being said, with the CDS being taken out now, it's just a matter of time before Blooper Reel score again. They've taken complete control over mid and of the opponent's basket. And they are just wrecking shop. Look at this, low supporting Owlsy from a distance. No, that was
That's a white.
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah.
Supporting Natty from a distance, rather, making sure that their roller couldn't be approached. And when you don't have your Dynamo in position to push them back, there's not much you can do.
Yeah, and it can be very hard to get back on this map unless you have, I don't know, extremely aggro weapons to play it. So, I mean, we do have a lot of ink coming out now, though, from Problematic. That will probably be the end of the push. Oh, all right, 2 down on Blooper Reel.
Push has finished up. I mean, we saw Owlsy throw themselves under that basket there to get an additional 4 clams. Probably worth, considering that they still have mid control. And this PD clam is going to have to work really hard to get past the roller. Not good on those ramps, that brush. Not good on those ramps.
Yeah, we have the Dynamo taking them out, though, and the Booyah coming out now. This should be pushed nice. Once one there, 3 down on Blooper Reel.
That's looking very strong, but the Toxic Mist is going to slow them down. They know that there's one person here, and they've stopped the entire push.
Oh, if only they'd maybe painted that sidewall there and gone up on the battlement, they might have been able to get something done there, but that was such an opportunity, and they just couldn't quite... Oh, no! Julie's isn't quite able to get that there either, but, oh,
yeah, those I believe those are Dapples on Blooper Reel held out an entire team of a push. What could have been a very strong 50-point score is now non-existent.
Yeah. Oh, we have 1 down on Problematic now.
Look at the movement on this Owlsy. Just jumping around, dodging shots, dodging a charger and a brush, and is, while not able to get a pick, got a lot of damage off and bought their team a lot of time.
Yeah, and I think there was someone else. Yeah, here we go. We got the dualies coming around, flanking. They also go down. Baller with the ball, which is always an interesting choice. Nice splat there. 1 down on each team.
Power Clam 4 Problematic, and a lovely trap there. Very well spotted. But if that Power Clam doesn't make it to the opponent's basket shortly, Blooper Reel are going to score. They need a jump out or some other kind of sneak play, but right now all of Problematic's players are dedicated to the defense here, because if that Power Clam goes in, it is not going to be good for them.
Yeah. Well, the last one does go down there, so Problematic still... We are in overtime, but they have to move very quickly right now to be able to get that in before it times out.
20 seconds left to get to the opponent's basket with that Power Clam, which is not enough time to move through mid with all the turf they have to deal with.
Yeah, we got 1 spot there. That's another ball, but 3 down on Problematic at the end there. Yeah.
Problematic were trying to take fights there and push through cleanly, but they really needed to be scrappier about it. They have an ink rush, and they could have had someone potentially run around for a jump. But going head-to-head against Blooper Reel was not a fight they were going to win. Blooper Reel's combat is just so strong.
Yeah. Actually, if you look at those splats, it's very similar there. I would be curious to see how many are assists on both sides. Because, I mean, we did see quite a bit of teamwork, even from Problematic towards the end there. I like seeing the brush and something else sort of fall down on Owlsy at one point to try and take him out at the same time.
That
But
was
yeah.
pretty funny. I think it was a charger.
Yeah, something like that.
Which is probably why Owlsy was able to duck and weave the way they did. Yeah, very impressive work for both teams, but Blueberry taking the 3-0, and they're going to put themselves a lot higher in this bracket.
Yeah. All right, well, that's one match done. We have a couple others coming through. Atlas 2-1 Sea Slugs, apparently. Prisma went 1-2 against the Sea Dragons. So we have a couple more matches we're waiting on. Well, I say a couple more. We have 8 total in each round.
Flatbacks are currently 0-2 against Hokey Hokey Inkatra. They're just playing the clams now.
Okay.
It's back and forth. There's another 2.5 minutes left in that. I'm wishing them the best.
Yeah.
We've got Hourglass 3-0 against Hydroforce. That one's come in. Usually you expect to see a few more 3-0s in the opening Swiss, so I'm glad that we've been seeing some back and forth.
Yeah.
But as it progresses, as with Swiss format, teams will get to go up against players of a more similar skill level and really make some more even and close matches happen. So make sure you're tuned in for the end of the stream where things are going to get very hype.
Yeah. And admittedly, I may have messed with the seeding slightly before this one. So yeah, we did try and even it out a little bit this time, just because, I mean, this is, for seeding data. That's the entire point of this tournament. And if we have, say, 2 returning teams, and one of them was Div 1 last season and one was Div 5, it doesn't really make sense to make them go up against each other. So
a lot of data.
Yeah, it's not particularly helpful for us. So we did mess with the matches a little bit this morning, just to try and make them, more helpful in terms of seeding data. So I think it looks like it's helped a bit with making sure we don't have a bunch of 3-0s in the first game, first round.
It's a lot closer. Like, we have a very wide spectrum of skill levels in the Oceanic.
Oh, yeah.
So getting all that nice and contained can be a bit of a challenge. So that's why we have seeding.
Yes, that's for sure. Like, I love how wide a range of skill we have in the series. I mean, that is the point of it. In the end, it's meant to be able to take pretty much anyone and put you in a division where you have at least a semi-fair fight of, placing in a division.
And we get to see players of all skill levels as well. It shows how fast our community is. How many players we have here just showing off their skills and having a good time.
Yeah, and honestly, sometimes I absolutely love watching the lower div matches, just because A, they can do the weirdest things in terms of team comps and pull it off, and B, because they're just there to have fun, a lot of them. And you can see when they're playing, like the way it comes through and how they play. I absolutely love it.
Definitely a very important factor. I'm sorry, I'm a bit distracted. I just saw 2 power clams sit under the opponent basket and not go in.
Yep.
That's okay. I'm gonna move off that. Let's see. We've got a Booyah squad 2-1 against True Damage.
Yeah.
And I think we're just waiting on Jiki and Impact. Oh, and Booyah Invaders and... Oh wait, is Booyah Invaders? No, they're different to Booyah squad.
Yes, we have 2 teams called Booyah this season. It's not going to get confusing at all.
Yeah, one's squad and one's invaders. That's what they've decided.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of the results are rolling in now. That's good. Jiki 3-0 against Impact. Hokey Hokey 3-0 on Splatbacks. And Booyah Invaders versus Default Splatoon team is the last one we're waiting for. I imagine it's on its way. So let's have a look at how we're doing the maps for this tournament. Just because I think map info is interesting. So each round we have 3 maps available, each with Start again. Each ranked mode is not shown more than once in each round, and over the course of the 5 rounds, it'll even out quite nicely. So teams get to play 15 games no matter what, and get a pretty even spread of maps and modes across those 15 games. So round 1, we missed out on tower control, but we won't be missing out on tower control until round 5. So teams that are stronger at tower control will get a chance to flex their muscles a bit.
Yeah, so I think there's one mode that isn't shown as many times as the others today, because I did check that earlier, because...
Mathematically, there would have to be.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Nico is king of the map list and has absolutely insane spreadsheets for figuring them out each season. And I may have modified it slightly this season so that I can actually understand what he's doing, because a lot of it's black magic. But for example, the current spreadsheet for maps, which only includes up till seeding 2, doesn't even include the weekly maps yet, is currently 5 tabs. So
oh my.
Yeah, we go slightly crazy on this.
That is some data. That is some solid data.
Yep. Okay, so we're seeing TC 3 times and the other modes 4 times today. That's what we're doing. So yeah, and there's no crossover with the scrims maps as well, because that's the thing we check. Blah blah blah.
There's a lot of measures put in place to ensure fairness among all these matchups.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we have our round 2 lineups now. Who are we going to view?
All right. Let's have a look. We've got Salty's already put dibs on Hourglass versus Default, so that one is taken. Let's see, what results did we have? I'm kind of, maybe Hydro Force versus Booyah Invaders? Let me check my other spreadsheet.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea. I'm down for that.
Alright. Hydro Force versus Booyah Invaders. This sounds good.
I'm excited to see what these Booyah teams have on offer. Excellent. All right, we've booked that in. Just trying to get as much data as possible. Every match that we stream or record is extra things we can review to just see how the players are operating and see how their teams are playing. It's also very handy if teams ever want to see a match that they played and review it for information on how they can improve and to spot flaws and particular strong points of the opposing team. You are welcome to contact Stream Team for recordings. Whenever you'd like. That's what we're here for.
And anything that ends up on YouTube, usually under the accounts of whoever recorded it, we do also collect them all into a playlist on the Oceanink Squid's YouTube account. So if you're ever looking for them, that's probably the easiest place to look. And if you can't find it there, then one of us has forgotten to do our jobs, and please ping us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully in the day or two after seeding tournament today, we'll start getting them all up somewhere, and then you'll be able to review them as you like.
Sounds good. Everyone likes to watch themselves back. I know personally, whenever I rip a sick triple on stream, I always watch it back just to give myself that little ego boost.
Yep. It is nice to watch. I've spent so many hours watching Riptide matches back and then just laughing at all the stupid things we do. So,
Brilliant.
It's the best part of it, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's all about having fun, making memes, and occasionally making memes work.
Yep, that's for sure.
All right, so we're just getting some friend requests added in here, but we are going to be moving in to see Hydroforce versus Booyah Invaders. Let's have a look at these teams.
So I think most of the people we have on these teams are returning this season.
Yep. I mean, I remember Hydroforce from last season. They
Yes.
were a very strong lower div team that were pushing their way up the ranks. They were practicing quite frequently to get themselves to a very high standing, and you can see just based on they've been playing in Lazy River as well. I think they won Division 5. Yeah, no, Boba Squids won Division 5, but there were 3 teams with 3-1, so basically they won. And they're definitely going to be trying their hardest to make it to a higher div this season, so looking forward to see how they have improved on that front. Booyah Invaders, I know Brix is on there, but because Challenge doesn't have the full roster, I would have to do a bit more research than I'm able to do right now to find out who the rest of them are.
I have them open. It also
there we go.
looks like Hydroforce have picked up Yasuna this season, which is a terrifying addition. Yasuna's from Midnight from last season.
Wow, they really are trying to pump up their ranks. My goodness.
So I'm really keen to see what how they do because, you know, Div 5 last season, they've picked up Yasuna. So obviously, you know, that's a good fit for them. I have no idea what division they're going to be in this season.
Yeah, the data's going to be very handy for that.
Oh, yeah. And yeah.
Okay, yeah, we've got Judd Boy, we got Noctis, IPU.
Yeah.
These are quite large teams. Both teams having a 7 and 8 members. I wonder which teams we're going to see today. Which players, rather.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with bigger teams is, are they going to be, you know, subbing in and out all the time? Are they going to, you know, just pick 4 people to play each day? Who knows? And it can really change up. I mean, it changes up their comp, and it can make things a lot more unpredictable for their opponents. So, gonna be interesting to see which approach these teams take.
Yeah, there are a few ways to do it where like you synergize with a specific group of players. You have players that are good at specific game modes, maps, or weapon types, and then you have a captain just kind of trying to orchestrate it all together to get the perfect set for every set of matches. Or you just play with an A team and a B team. Hydroforce have enough players to do that now, so they could essentially split themselves up to being this group plays these matches and this group plays these matches. It's something I've always dreamed of being able to do, because then you can scrim against yourself. Like, it's perfect.
Yes, I have done that before, back when Riptide was very big, and it is a lot of fun, to be honest.
Yeah.
Although getting people to take it seriously when you do that, that was a little bit hard.
I was gonna say every splat is personal, but it would be hard to keep everyone focused.
All right. Game 1, round 2, Booyah Invaders versus Hydroforce. Let's see what weapons we have.
Okay, this is interesting. Booyah Invaders are running a very nice set of ranged weapons there to apply pressure over tower here. I'm loving the CGS returning to the meta lately, as the Stingray is always quite valuable, but people are getting better at that long-range shooting as well.
Yeah, I'm just happy there's a clash. Oh, nice flick!
That was a lucky bit of positioning combined with an excellent play. Brix will be happy about that, and that is pretty much a first checkpoint guaranteed as long as they can continue to keep this coordinated and watch out for the flanks coming around from DJ.
Yeah, that was a 2v1 there. We do have Yasuna coming in from above. Surely going to be able to get... No, Yasuna goes down there. So I think it's still basically 2 down on Hydroforce. Almost dodges that Stingray, can't quite. Very nicely done there by Judd.
Invaders are doing an excellent job with their communication and awareness thus far. We've seen multiple points of attack come out from Hydroforce here that Invaders have been able to easily dispatch and deal with, not even skipping a beat.
Yeah, definitely. Judd here seems to have quite good awareness, just keeping track of where the enemies possibly might be. Got a Stingray possibly coming out again. That 3 are coming out there.
CJS has this ability as well, where you can just stand back on the battlefield. You can still supply turf. You can still give good callouts and still get some picks if someone tries to approach you. But the fact that you don't need to enter the battlefield to engage with what's going on is going to be very strong for their team.
Yeah, it's a rather terrifying weapon in the right hands, actually.
Lovely pick by Yasuna there, running a lot of swim speed to make this roller work. Look at it zipping around there. Hopefully they get some more picks out of this. They've only got 3 so far, and they're really going to need to start leading picks for their front line if they're going to be able to clear this checkpoint. And they do! Excellent work.
Nice.
We can see Yasuna up on plat there, absolutely cleaning up, getting an additional 2.
Yeah, I got DJM going up as well now, apparently. 3 down on Booyah Invaders. We got the lead as well. This could be the KO, possibly.
I know from experience that Hydro Force were an incredibly aggressive team, and we're seeing that here in spades. All the members of Hydro Force were just spread out on opponent's spawn.
Oh!
And it delayed them long enough for invaders to sneak in. Very well done.
Look at that map. Oh boy. It felt like Hydro Force almost seemed to not be quite so aggro for the first minute, at least from what I could see, although it might have been picks keeping them back. But yeah, once they got that push going, they just kept rolling forward, and it just worked. It was great to see.
Whether they were sizing their enemy up in that time, or if they were just getting warmed up. But once they hit that critical temperature, it was very hard to get rid of them.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Oh, we have a replay coming out here.
Oh, so smooth. Such a good replay. Yeah, we can see, like, there's one member on the tower just getting turf, and the rest of them are all spread out, firing Inkjet, just smashing people with the roller. They did almost lose all their players here, but the Booyah Bomb allowed them to buy enough space to just finish it out there. Hydro Force definitely pushed with everything they had, and they almost ran out of steam. But they just had that little bit to get over the hill and get that knockout.
And it did seem like, I mean, almost the second the Inkjet ended, they had the Booyah coming out. And I do wonder if that was on purpose. Because if so, that's a really great way of just blocking off that entire approach. Because you had an Inkjet hovering over it for ages, and then you had a Booyah come out and just block it off as a wall. Really meant that Booyah Invaders had to sort of come around the long way. And unfortunately, Brick was the only one who got there, and Dynamo versus Tower is... Well, RNG isn't your friend.
Yeah, it's not a great time.
So,
Yeah. So we're going to move on to Rainmaker on Moray Towers now, and while Hydro Force were able to push ahead of the objective and completely lock it out, that's not really as much of an option on Rainmaker. While you can push ahead, as long as one person can sneak past and grab that Rainmaker, your push gets halted. That being said, I feel like with this kind of a map, Booyah Invader is going to have to do some extra fancy footwork to be able to sneak past Hydro Force's offensive.
Yeah, that's for sure. I do wonder if we'll see some weapon changes, perhaps, or... I don't know. This is a weird map in general, so who knows what we're going to see.
No one likes this one. But it exists, and it is to be played, as is the fate.
Alright.
Yeah, there's some significant changes here. Both teams are bringing a Kensa Dynamo now, and we have Judd repping the Heavy Deco, which is a very good pick for Rainmaker, especially on a map like this.
Yeah, and I think I also saw Yasuna on the tent, which of course very nice for running along the various pathways here. It's pretty much the same width, I think. So it'll be interesting to see how they use that. I'm assuming that'll be the Rainmaker guard, will be the tent there.
A lot of sense. Also, a very nice way to push the Rainmaker forward on these very thin paths where you won't be able to dodge around it. But the Dynamo gets in, and they were not prepared to deal with that. That is an excellent positioning for Hydro Forces. They're going to be able to push forward here.
Yeah, I got to paint up this wall. We got the, I think, Pro there painting that wall very nicely, yes. That range does help.
Yeah, they make it up the wall successfully. The Carbon Deco is going to be their rear support as they push forward. They get the rail. Oh, but they don't land on it. Going into that little bubble would have made it very easy for the heavy Splatling to pick them off, so they didn't go for it. But look at that! Everyone else has been taken out by probably the Carbon, if I had to guess.
Here we go.
Incredible shot there. Another knockout for Hydroforce. They are repping it today.
That Rainmaker defense at the end there as well. We had the tent canopy come out. We had the bubbles come out as well. We had someone had painted the target.
No way to damage the Rainmaker there, and all the Rainmaker had to do was shoot a nice shot over the top and absolutely blow everything to smithereens.
Yeah, they got 2 at the end there, I think, with the with that main shot. So, that was just well done, well coordinated. It definitely seems like they had a strategy for that. Well played by Hydroforce.
I mean, yeah, very well earned. We saw Hydroforce's aggression time and time again, those rollers just rushing forward. But each time, Hydroforce are only able to get rolling once they've put a stop to the enemy team first. We did see Booyah Invaders with the early pickup, and only the Dynamo was really left to defend, but because the Dynamo got the drop on both of them, neither of them could react fast enough. They didn't really have an opportunity to set up a good defense. Once that wall was climbed, they got a little bit of a block in, but the aggression was rolling at that point. Figuratively and literally with the Dynamo and Carbon combo.
Yeah, I do wonder. I mean, our next mode is Splat Zones, which of course is not a one where you have to push, you just have to defend an area. It is 2 zones on Manta, which is always an interesting time, but I wonder if maybe Booyah Invaders might, like, this might suit them a bit better, because we do see some teams who are much better at the modes where you have to push than the modes where you don't.
I hope so, but I'm just thinking about this from a different perspective. We've seen Hydroforce able to rush forward and surprise the members of Booyah Invaders by hiding in places they wouldn't expect. And we're going to Manta Maria. I worry if Booyah Invaders are going to be able to get to the zones at all. Time will tell, but yeah, if I were them, I'd be going for a vastly different strategy just to really deal with this Hydroforce. I'll be honest, I don't know how to deal with Hydroforce. We tried in playoffs to deal with Hydroforce, and I still haven't figured out what to do against that much offense.
Okay.
There is probably a way to do it, but I, for the life of me, haven't found that weakness yet.
Interesting. All right. I mean, I guess the usual suggestions would be either try and meet it with more aggression, have a super good defense, or have someone flanking and pick them off from behind. But yeah, with the way they sort of set up, it feels like they've studied the maps and they know which way someone's going to approach and try and take them out. So,
I know for a fact they studied their opponent teams as well.
Oh yes.
I don't know if they've had the chance to study every team in the seeding tournament today, but there is a chance that they were very prepared for this encounter.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, we do have a sub coming in. It seems like the host is subbed, so we've had to remake the entire lobby.
I'd be surprised if we didn't have at least one sub from either of these two teams, considering their vast rosters.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, like a team with 8 players is gonna have a hard time giving all their players a good amount of time here with only 15 rounds to go. So yeah, fingers crossed that we do get some substitutions and we get a good idea of the average power of the teams and not just the best players.
Yeah, I mean, that is always a problem with the bigger teams. It is harder to protect, I guess, their skill range. When you have a team of 4 or 5, you always know, well, they have, only a couple of different comps they can play. But yeah, when you have these teams who have 8, 9 players, they can vary wildly in how they do depending on who's playing. And not necessarily like overall skill. It could just be that one lineup is much better at zones and TC, and one lineup is much better at Rainmaker and Clan Blitz. And if you don't see evidence of both of those lineups, then yeah, it can be very hard to figure out where they should actually rank.
Makes sense.
Oh, that's why we have so many seeding tournaments and things, I guess.
Yeah, and also it's fun to play the game. It's always about having a good time. And at the end of the day,
Yeah.
seeding isn't work at all. It's a game, and we get to have fun with that game.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, I'm just
Okay.
having a look to see if any of our results have come through for the next round. While we wait. Oh, never mind, our match is starting. Results can
Hey.
come later. Let's do this.
All right. Game 3, Zones on Manta Maria. Let's see what we've got.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a minimal change from Hydro Force, if nothing at all, but Booyah really need to switch things up, and an E-Leader might do exactly that. That being said, also, big change on Hydro Force, we're moving to a double dually, double shooter comp. Definitely going to get a lot more scrappy on this front line, versus Booyah taking that defensive approach that you mentioned with the E-Leader and Dynamo. We do know Brix very much prefers the Dynamo, so not too surprising to see that, but the E-Leader could be the difference in this.
Yeah, I mean, that Dynamo is very dangerous on this map as well because there's battlements and bridges and all kinds of things right above the zone. And can also rain a lot of ink down on a couple of the approaches to the zones if you're sitting up in the right positions. So definitely a dangerous weapon to have. Oh, we have two. I was about to say Hydro Force are holding this well, but we have two down on them at the moment. There we go. That was a full wipe there.
That's very good. I feel like the extra range that Booyah Invaders have now are applying more pressure to Hydro Force. They can't just have free roam of the map.
Yeah.
It seems to be working very well for them. Yeah, Brix is absolutely controlling this bunker. No one else is coming in here. And if anyone tries to get past, they get splashed as well.
Yeah, very nicely done. Ran out of ink there and still managed to recover again.
Wow!
Nicely done by Brix.
Blue armor with no ink. That was an incredible play. Brix will be very happy about that. And they will be able to extend their lead significantly. Let's look at that again. The armor hit comes out first, then the one splat, then the second through a bubble as well. That could have very easily gone a different way.
That's just perfect Dynamo Flicks. Like, you watch the angle and everything that Brix uses. Is so practiced with those Dynamo Flicks and knowing exactly what angle he needs to get the ink to go exactly where he wants. It's amazing.
Begun targeting individual members. We saw multiple members approaching several individuals on Booyah Invaders, and it's forced them to retreat back off. Fortunately for Booyah Invaders, they haven't lost too many players yet, and the Booyah Bomb's going to allow them a bit more time to get back into mid here, and they do so successfully.
Yeah, we got this E-Leader just keeping the pressure up as well. Name here keeps trying to push forward and just sees the laser and backs off a bit. We do need to get some more splats. We do have one down on Hydro Force at the moment. And the zones, there we go. There's the cap. Still being contested, but still.
Yeah, penalty on both sides now as we're about halfway through this match. A two-zone map is always going to be quite well contested. Yeah, Booyah Invaders, they're moving in groups. They're making sure that they don't get caught out by the aggressive front line of Hydro Force. As long as they can maintain this positioning, they're going to be in with a very good chance to win this match.
Yeah, they're not overextending. They're not trying to overcommit to anything. Although we do have two down there. I noticed the Dynamo went down, and then that sort of, I think, took out some of the support that they've been relying on. Oh, Red Eye going for the sniper here.
Invaders are definitely suffering from a domino effect here. They lost their one key bit of pressure, which made them lose one front line, which made them lose their other pressure. And the E-Leader could not get out in time. So they will be able to maintain control, but how well will they be able to push forward? Yasin is already in the opponent trench, really just messing things up, but they seem to be ignored. Whether they'll come back with remains to be seen.
Oh, this is getting very close to the lead here for Hydro Force.
And look at the difference in playstyle. Booyah Invaders were playing in mid when they were defending. Hydro Force are all up in the opponent's business, only retreating when missiles are dropped. They have no intention of giving up any space here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it seemed to be working for Booyah Invaders because it did keep them a lot more safe from Hydro Force's aggression. But of course, it did mean that when they went down, Hydro Force were already on the zones. Whereas if you've pushed up and you go down, then you at least have a couple of seconds for the other team to have to continue pushing forward. So yeah, it's very different playstyle. It has pros and cons of each. just depends what you want to go for in the end.
I definitely think it's the right approach for invaders to take, but they need to be able to deal with this. Like, their offensive strategy is great. Their defensive strategy is not able to handle Hydro Force just being in all positions. And yeah, it's just very hard for anyone here to move forward and do anything. Inkstorm's not going to be able to do anything, and the E-Leader, while it does have decent turfing, that's going to pick right next to the zone, but the Booyah Bombs are too slow. That pick next to the zone almost got neutral. It was so close.
Look at how green it is on the end screen there. If that had been maybe 2 seconds earlier, they would have got that cat back.
Oh, wow, powerful stuff.
That was so well fought by Booyah Invaders, though. Like, that change in their composition, that almost worked.
Very much so. I definitely thought they had it for a good second there, and then like halfway through the match, they were leading, they were holding, they weren't losing players significantly, and we saw that one domino fall, hit the second one, hit the third one, and then they just never got back in.
Yeah, and it's being able to get back in past that really aggro Hydro Force lineup that I think is possibly the worst part of trying to play against Hydro Force.
I agree. I can attest to that. It sucks.
Yeah, like how do you get back in?
They just have such good awareness of their map. They're moving very quickly. They're very hard to pin down, and they single you out. If they see you alone, they come for you. So you've just got to play it nice, careful, slow, and you've also got to probably pack a few more bombs to really clear out some areas.
Yeah.
But that's something that the other teams will have to figure out going up against Hydro Force moving forward. As they are setting themselves up to be in very good standing moving forward.
It's going to be interesting to see how the results of the rest of Hydro Force's matches go, because they are slowly, creeping up the rankings here. So theoretically, Swiss should start giving them some rather high-powered opponents soon.
Yeah, maybe they'll run into an opponent that can deal with what they're serving up. Time will tell. Other results we've got for this round, we have True Damage taking a 3-0 against Prismatic. We have Hourglass with a 2-1 against Default Splatoon team. Solar Powered Sea Slugs with a 3-0 on Splatbacks. And Atlas Splatoon 3-0 against Hokey Hokey Inkaricha Club. Oh.
Yeah, it's a little hard to pronounce that one.
Gets me every time. We're still waiting on the results of Booyah Squad versus Sea Dragons, Jiki versus Blooper Reel, and actually, maybe we just got some of those. We just got Perbs versus Impact. We have Inkpact taking the 2-1 against Perbs.
Neat. All right. I'm trying to remember what division Hourglass were in last season, because so they were Division 4 last season.
That checks out.
And
they're doing quite well so far.
Yeah. So they do only have. Wait, am I thinking the right team?
Well, they stopped Hydro Force for one, but also they beat Default 2-1.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do. Default are quite a challenging team.
So Hourglass is
really
only
going to get tested shortly.
Oh yeah, the Hourglass is only 4 players apparently. So I mean, when you have only the 4 players, we were talking about it before, you sort of really build up that synergy of playing together, which is can be a little bit harder to build when you have a bigger team. So I do wonder if, just even it only being the 4 of them means that they're really good on the teamwork, which would certainly make them a force to be reckoned with.
Sure, a 4-player team comes with a lot of advantages. Like, your role becomes innate to you. You just understand it on a conceptual level, so you never have to think about what do I need to be doing right now. You just do it. And that split-second decision-making can really make a difference amidst a fight where things are going down. But on the same token, if someone's not available for the day, your team can't play. So that, I would say there are many benefits in terms of gameplay, and not many disadvantages. Like, maybe you're not as flexible as some other teams are. You may not be able to apply yourself to every type of map mode, but you've got the time to figure it out. You've got the time to find out how you can deal with those problems.
That's for
availability is the main problem that I can think of.
Well, looking at the lineup here, I mean, Hourglass is Crowboy, Porobo, Melon, and Maxico. from what I can remember of those players, they're all pretty dedicated, I think. So
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't.
mean they've been around this series for quite a while.
Yeah.
They've been playing as a team quite well from last division. So I imagine if they've been practicing all through the break between last series and this one, they're going to be quite tough.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm keen to see what they can do today as well, and through the series.
Heck yeah. I also want to see more of Sea Dragons, my favorite Oceanic team, are back in action after a hiatus, and I'm very excited.
Oh yeah, I'm so keen. Riptide and Sea Dragons have a very friendly rivalry. Well, have
I
had.
think they're friendly with everyone. Like Sea Dragons
they
are just
are.
the best.
They really are. We've scrimmed them and versed them in tournaments and such so many times, and it's always just a great fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, they also have their double Hydra comp.
I mean, I was just gonna say double Hydra. I'll never forgive them for the time they beat us on tower control with quad Hydra.
Yeah, that's a thing. Yep.
Yeah, that is the thing that happened. They're very good at some weapons that don't see a lot of play, so they're very hard to deal with if you're not prepared.
Yeah,
which
that's for
is
sure.
a really cool thing they've got going.
Yeah, even spectating, commentating their matches, it's always great fun just to see what they come out with, see how the other teams try to adjust to it. Yeah, they sort of just, I mean, they're playing for fun from what I know of them. Like they don't care about meta, they don't care about anything else. They're here to have fun. And it's fun to watch them because of it. So I feel like everyone just loves Sea Dragons. So very excited that they're back this season.
Yeah.
All right, we have just the one match left. I don't know if that's no, not being spectated by anyone. So
Nope. Just holding tight on that one. I imagine the result will come in the next 5 minutes or so. Play all three tends to have pretty consistent timing.
Yeah.
So here's hoping we hear back sooner rather than later. And yeah, let's try and get them on stream at some point. I'm down for it. They're not in the spreadsheet? What?
Who? Oh, Sea Dragons. Probably because they only signed up last night.
Gotcha.
So this is easy.
Let's get them in here. Yeah.
I think that should work. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that checks out. Let's have a quick chat about some of our other teams that might not be too familiar to anyone in Oceanink Series, especially because we do have some new teams here. We have... let's start with Team Pog.
Oh, Penguins of Greenland?
Yeah, very intentional acronym from my understanding.
Yep.
There's some very strong players on that team. Seems to have been formed by some squids who are just kicking around and being like, "Hey, we're pretty good at this game. Let's absolutely go nuts."
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys were quite terrifying. I mean, Remy, Kilometers, Loose Goose, Ray 41, and Shades. They're scary players in their own right. And yeah, like you said, they're now a team. So I'm very keen to see what they do this season.
Yeah, also the fact that they are going to be, like they're aiming for Div 2+ at the moment. So they're trying to get quite high up in the divisions and they're strong enough to do it, but they're still new as a team. So because the season is so soon, it's going to come down to how quickly they can form those synergies and really get that teamwork going.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've all been... I feel like a couple of them have been on the same team before. But yeah, definitely not this lineup. So that's going to be interesting for sure.
Of course.
Oh, we have a result.
Lovely, lovely.
I think we should have...
Yes, we do. BR squad taking the 3-0 against Sea Dragons.
Nice work. All right.
All right, let's take a moment to dibs on some next matches, and we'll start with the next round once that's done.
Yeah. All right. Looks like I got Nico's announcement, and then we'll have the bracket, and then... Okay, cool. There's the announcement. We have like a whole process with this today, because we're actually being organized enough that we discuss process instead of just winging it like usual.
Going smoothly. I'm very impressed. Nothing is broken yet.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most organized. No, probably is the most organized seeding tournament we've ever run, to be honest. Which makes me slightly worried that the next one will be very much winging it, but this is fun.
Like getting better. Heck yeah.
All right, what do we got here?
Let's see. Well, what teams do we want to be highlighting here? Do we want to go for our higher division or our lower division?
Maybe go for lower division this time around because.
All right.
We'll get some hype matches towards the end, hopefully.
That sounds good. Do we want to jump into Sea Dragons and Solar Powered Sea Slugs?
Yeah, that'd be a good one, actually.
Solar Powered Sea Slugs, they have gotten one already. Let's see, can we get a match that has O and O? I'm doing the math. Seeing that team. Inkpact, who are they playing? Inkpact and True Damage could be a good one. Inkpact have already gotten one. True Damage have not. Okay, so there are a few good ones we could pick here. Salty's going to take Inkpact and True Damage, so we don't need to take that.
Alright. I'm just going to double check something quickly as well.
Alright. We're double checking stuff. Just lovely. Yep. Shades is going to take Blooper Eel and Hydroforce. Ooh, that'll be a fun one. My goodness. That does sound exciting.
Okay. Alright, hang on. So they've taken those matches. I just was trying to double check if Sea Dragons are okay with being streamed, because of course some teams prefer not to be, which is completely fair. Can make it a bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we the admins have a bad habit of, instead of actually using the registration form, we kind of just enter our teams into the spreadsheets, which is my fault for starting this, but I've now corrupted the other admins as well.
Oh dear.
So I believe Sea Dragons did this as well this season, which means they didn't tick the thing on the form that says whether or not they mind being streamed. Right. So I'm just double checking that one. I mean, I could also actually go check the form.
Default and Hokey. Is that a match that's happening? It is. Default and Hokey are playing. Hokey have had one, Default have had one. Oh, so both of those teams have already been shown or recorded today. So we might...
Who's Booyah Squad going up against? Oh, Atlas.
Booyah Squad. Atlas, yeah.
I mean, Atlas are currently... Oh, Solar Power took a game off.
Hey, let's do that one. I think that's a good one. We've got... Neither of those teams have been shown off yet. Alright, sweet.
Alright, let's do that.
Booyah Squad and Atlas. I'll just take care of the spreadsheet there. Yep. And... Lovely. Ooh, this is being weird. That's okay. Conditional formatting be as it be.
Yeah. Alright. Atlas. I shall ask.
Right. Did we need one more match to give to someone?
Yes, for Banu.
Okay. Let's have a look.
I assume nobody's asked yet.
Those have both been. Those.
Now I've got to try and remember who's in Booyah Squad and Atlas. There we go. We have a password. Neat.
Excellent. Alright. Well, we could probably ask them to do... Sturgeon Turf aren't playing today. Unload the Toad aren't playing today. Yeah, I guess we could ask them to do Sea Dragons versus Solar Powered. Probably be the way to go.
Yeah, that could be a possibility.
Assuming it hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
I can message.
They have started already.
It's a shame. But these things do happen.
What about that? What was the... Oh, that's one.
We're talking about things in very vague terms. The stream is probably just like, these people are just rambling about stuff. We are scrambling to bring you the best Splatoon action. There's only so much that can happen in a day.
Oh no, everyone started. That's alright. It's taken
yeah.
us a while to figure out what to play.
We are like a few minutes behind. We can always jump into game 2 or...
I think we might be okay.
Okay, we're okay?
I'm just trying to mess up a banner. Yep. This is fine.
I guess Cheeky and Hourglass could potentially be an option, considering they're just waiting for a sub.
I did ask, and they seem to have started.
Right. All good, all good. How is the match that we're going to be watching tracking? Are they just waiting patiently?
Are we in the lobby? How are we going, Hess? I have no idea. There was a password earlier.
Yeah, okay. We were going to be grabbing Booyah Squad and Atlas, correct? Yes, that is what we're looking for. I'll see if I can find the password for you, Hess.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, Cozy posted it earlier. I found it.
Yeah. You found it just before I did.
Alright, slowly getting there.
Yes, absolutely. Just as we're saying how smoothly everything was running and how we had a nice method and system.
Yeah. Oh well.
Fate finds a way.
Still better than last seeding tournament last season, so you know, we'll get there.
We absolutely will. Alright, I hear the password going, which means we are close to our next set.
Alright, there we go.
Alright, now let's have a quick look at our maps before we jump into this. We have Clamblitz. Ooh, Clamblitz on... That is... that's not sturgeon.
No,
Port mackerel. That's port mackerel. Oh, goodness. They're both in shipyards.
I know! There's a lot of crossover in these maps the other day. I don't remember why I was looking up things. But yeah, there is a lot of maps that are built around ports and such.
Absolutely. And I guess it makes sense when you want to have, like, aquatic, watery theme.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Just makes me miss that Splatoon 1 map, though. That map was sick.
Oh, Bluefin?
No, I wasn't thinking about Bluefin. It's the asymmetrical one.
Oh, Rig? Salt Spray?
Yeah, Salt Spray Rig.
It's
almost like, yeah, it's so, like, naval, and it's got that little shipping area at the back. That was sick. So yeah. It was certainly a map.
Yeah.
So we do have Atlas versus Booyah Squad here. Atlas, a very strong showing yesterday in the Off the Hook Showdown. I think they placed 4th overall in the Swiss round. They did very well, and are going to be quite the tough team today for Booyah Squad to deal with. Especially if they're going to be running a lovely bamboo for all these very thin passageways.
Yeah.
More typical comp coming out from Booyah Squad. Nice shooter, nice long range cover, nice close range fight. Like it's quite standard. The bamboo being the only difference here for Atlas in that they don't have their long range cover, but they instead are going for much more of a close range fighty game. We'll see how that pans out for them.
Yeah. Well, we already have one down on both teams here. I was just looking at the comps though. Do we have any stingrays? What is on that bamboo? I don't remember.
Yeah, no, that is beyond my level of retention. But what we do have is Atlas already sitting on 30, well, just shy of 30 clams. They're trying their best to not pick up additional clams. They are going to get the first score here, and they got the picks just as they approach scoring. Very well done. And they're just keeping them coming in. That is,
yeah, it's still going down.
Oh
my goodness.
They even missed a few clams and had time to pick them up. The Inkstorm coming out now to slow down the oncoming Booyah Squad. But, I mean, if you just look at the splats, we've already got 5 on that end zap. I mean, it's clear to see where all the work's being put in. And, is it Ray 25? I think it might be.
Yeah, I would not be surprised, yeah. I mean, here we go. We got another ball coming in. Guys on the jump, but this is fine. I've got 2 minutes.
Going to be able to extend that. Dying on the jump there really meant that Booyah Squad were able to push back out. Ray 25 doesn't have any clams to continue it with, so it will end there.
No, just trying to get a splat there, but does survives that Booyah. Very nice. Oh, this Inkjet coming out. Takes the armor, I think, but not able to find the pick.
They did get the 1 pick, and Ray 25 very clever to drop that power clam in its place before trying to fight that Inkjet. But they've used a lot of their specials just to get to the basket, which means they might not be able to hold it for very long.
Oh no, and then the miss!
That's not going to be good at all.
There we go, we got 1 in, but someone goes down trying to get the other ball. We got the other ball coming in. Alright, we're down to 60. There's a few clams lying here, but it's just the 1 member of Booyah Squad left trying to fight off 3 members of Atlas.
Yeah, when you've got a heavy splatling under your wing, that's not going to really help you in the nick of time. They weren't quite able to get that barrel spinning, but a very good score nonetheless. The only downside is they've given Atlas a lot of special and control of the map moving forward, and that is not something they can afford to have right now.
Yeah, they really need to get some picks. They have got on 1 so far. Liam's trying to chase another one here. We found the splatling. Oh, nice. Here we go. We got another ball coming in. We got a few clams. Not quite enough to get a KO just yet, but
Ray could find them. They are definitely swimming off to grab some clams, but I don't know if they'll make it back to the basket in time, especially with the members of Booyah Squad pushing forward. So, very good stop for Booyah Squad. What could have been a fatal loss for that match is now going to continue out for the next 2 minutes.
Well, this Inkjet movement is very nice here, but not able to find anything particularly useful. Oh, you can see someone going around to set up there. Trade out?
Does get the trade. I think that was very lucky considering the positioning and the play disadvantage they had in place. If they'd been able to take out the bamboo before the jump came in, probably would have had a better time of winning that fight, but as it stood, trade's not awful. The thing I'm noticing is that Booyah Squad are using a lot of their specials just to reclaim mid, which means holding the basket is going to be a lot harder for them, whereas Atlas is saving their specials for their scoring.
Yeah, that's for sure. We do have the missiles coming out. I mean, there's an armor still on Atlas, which is going to make defending a lot nicer for them. Do you have that ball? Oh, there was a couple of hits from the heavy there. I just completely forgot what that weapon's called.
That's alright. They have taken some significant picks, but they throw the clam too early. Luckily, the just pick it out from behind, and the wipe is going to allow them plenty of clams to get in. Unfortunately, quite a few of them break before they're picked up. They would have been able to take lead if those clams didn't break. And because they've thrown them all in, they're not going to be able to extend timer. It's going to be whether they can jump the
got a couple more.
One.
No, they
missed the last clam. That's not good. The heavy's left on their own, and that basket is going to reset. That is going to crush them. Booyah Squad have missed so many clams by this point that could have won them that extra point.
Yeah, they only need that 1 more. But now, I mean, we have the penalties coming out.
They need a power clam in 10 seconds, and with your entire team respawning, and all of Atlas just holding power clams, I don't think it's going to happen.
Whoa, I mean, we just had so many people go down at the end there as well. So that was incredibly close, though. Wow.
Absolutely. I mean, Booyah Squad, if they delayed their clams out a bit longer when they threw them in, they probably could have had someone on defense and slow down Atlas's approach for just enough time for their one member to get just a bit closer when they threw those last clams in, and they would hit. But in the heat of the moment there, they were just trying to get as many clams in as possible and make use of that wipe. And it didn't quite work out for them. Atlas able to take the day by a smidge.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the problem when you're throwing clams in. Like, if you have a heap, the dilemma is, do you just throw them all in? And, I mean, if you haven't done the math, hope you have enough to get the lead. Or hope that, you can get a heap and then all rotate back and get more to get the lead from there. Or do you delay each throw and slowly
Two
eke out
clams
time?
that broke there, we just saw in the replay.
Yeah.
They would have been the difference.
And there was some in that little cubby back on the street. We can see Kyle going past right now. If they'd taken the shorter path to get them, they might have been able to get back in time.
I just noticed they actually didn't just miss one. There were 3 missed clams under that basket. 4 even. If they'd had their positioning a little bit better, that would have been a match for them. They're going to be kicking themselves, but they know that they at least have a chance in this set to take some games out.
Yeah, it's just, I guess, possibly just rushing a little bit too much. And therefore not quite getting close enough to get those clams in, so...
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, like maybe if they left a player on defense to slow Atlas's approach, because by the time they came back with the clams, Atlas were under the basket and pushing forward. So Booyah didn't have a lot of room to maneuver, and I mean, very well recognized on Atlas to know they needed to push out like that. One look at the scoreboard was probably enough to tell them they needed to do that, because they knew how close it was.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, game 2, tower control on Pit. We've got Umbrella coming out here, which I appreciate. I do like Umbrella on tower control. Used properly, it can be a very nice way to defend a push.
Umbrella also has some really nice kit to it, which will make it very useful for tower control. So excited to see how that pans out. Early fight goes very neutral with the members of Atlas flanking around to the opponent's spawn.
Boy.
It's very back and forth. The splashdown's not going to find anyone, and we just have a very messy neutral with no one really able to take the tower at this point.
Yeah. A decent number of splats on both teams, but yeah, nothing really in favor of either team just yet. Although this map is quite purple, but it looks like Atlas is working on that. The Stingray coming out, trying to get cozy, can't quite.
Yeah, they know Cozy's back there, but getting that pick on an ends up when they have that much swimming room is probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither team able to push past 10 points as of yet. Hopefully with the special ready on Cozy with this armor, they're going to be able to reach first checkpoint. And yeah, they do. The team takes down most of Booyah Squad, just the Jet in position, and they don't have their Stingray ready, which means they're just going to have to back off and try and keep themselves alive.
Oh yeah, and that Inkjet going up onto the battlements there, that is very dangerous. That plus the Booyah as well. But this Umbrella coming out, trying to get a slide onto the tower. There we go, there's the Stingray. That forces the tower to stop there, and 45 points, not too bad.
Yeah, decent push, not game winning as of yet, especially with 3 minutes left in the books. But we did see the Umbrella providing some lovely harassment there. While it's not able to get picks most of the time, it is definitely annoying to deal with, and is taking a lot of the attention of Atlas.
Yeah, that's for sure. We've got a bit of teamwork here. They managed to get 2 members down on Atlas. This should be a decent push, although we need someone to be on the tower. Oh no!
No, I think at this point the armor is going to make it so that they can't push forward, especially they have the scope watching. They know they're not going to be able to take first checkpoint without a special to back them up or a lot of splats. Griffin also a great shot, well known for their ability to get an excellent shot on tower. And Stingray is just going to absolutely shut this push down.
Yeah, it did seem like they were going forward for splats there, but we have the counter Stingray coming out there. We had 2 down on both teams briefly, but respawns are already coming out.
Yeah, I think the respawn might be a bit faster for Booyah Squad as they're able to push in here, but Ray25 utilizing that Slayer action that they have mastered over the course of Firetail League to really make a difference in these fights. And look at this movement, look at this turfing. That Inkjet will be ready in no time.
Yeah, and looks like they're going to go for the battlement Inkjet. Here we go. Yep. Do you have...
A very good Inkjet because you get so much height so quickly that you're able to very easily pressure your opponents. That's a wipe from Atlas. And Ray 25 is going to push right up into spawn and be an absolute nuisance.
Yeah, we've got Kyle coming around the side here. Looks like they might go for a long approach. Ray, though, just turning this entire area into a playground. Does not care at all.
Absolutely. The Ink Rail, which doesn't get a lot of love in tower control to really flank around. Fortunately for Booyah Squad, they're able to get the return wipe there. We didn't see most of the fights that happened there. But I can only assume their excellent re-entry strategy has allowed them a significant chance at making this happen. They do have to clear 2 checkpoints in a minute, which isn't exactly an easy task, but I wouldn't put it past this team at this point.
Oh, and Ray just jumping from one belt to the tower to the other belt there. Getting a splat in the process, very nicely done. Roll again might get... No, gets sniped out of the sky, I think. Very nicely done.
Booyah cancel. It's one of those weird Booyah cancels where the Booyah Bomb goes off anyway, but you still get splattered. Not Booyah Bomb, Splashdown, you know what I meant. Anyway. Yeah, jumping back there, not dealing with that Stingray. Luckily, you do get a bit of protection from that at spawn. And because this map is so close to spawn, it doesn't really cost you much to jump back to spawn here. So it's a very clever move from Griffin and good positioning. Armor's going to keep Booyah Squad alive and rolling to this checkpoint, but can they get through it with a Booyah Bomb on their heels? They cannot.
Yeah, that was well placed there. They couldn't really... I mean, there was one direction they could have gone in to avoid that, but it was just too late by the time they could have moved.
I'm going to say that Booyah Squad just didn't anticipate a Booyah Bomb coming out at that moment, and it's cost them the match, unfortunately. They didn't really have an exit plan because they were really committed to pushing that tower.
Yeah, that's for sure. Oh, that did go back and forth quite a bit there, but still convincing win by Atlas. Very nicely done.
Yeah, Atlas are definitely proving themselves as a very strong team here. I don't know how long they've been playing together as a group, but what I can say for certain is they have playstyles that gel well together. They're not having to put too much work into their teamwork here, it's just kind of flowing naturally, which is nice.
Yeah. I do wonder... Now I'm just trying to think what we're going to see in Rainmaker, because... Weapons-wise... Oh, here we go. We got a replay of that Booyah coming out.
Placed excellently as well behind the tower, meaning there was no point of retreat. But we can also see the members of Atlas are surrounding the tower on 3 sides. There was no approach in or out of that tower. They were cornered.
Even if someone had managed to leave, yeah, they would have just run into someone else from the team. I think there was the 4th splat was somewhere off to the side there at the moment at that time from I think Ray or something as well. So yeah, just I guess well coordinated of taking control of the map, making sure they're spread out enough that Booyah Squad just couldn't do anything. So
okay, well, we're gonna move into our 3rd round here. And it's a personal favorite of mine. We have Rainmaker on Camp Triggerfish. This quite a few neat little details in Rainmaker, which can really change how teams approach this map. Usually it's very much, this is your side, this is my side, but with Rainmaker, those sides get bridged in quite a few places.
Yeah, and I mean, it always feels very different to a lot of other Rainmaker maps to me, just because of all the grates and such. So, oh, I was about to say we might see a splatling, and sure enough, we did.
Absolutely. There's a lot of places where you are quite exposed, having to run along those grates, which is why pushes don't tend to end as quickly. There's no, like, straight, narrow path to rush down. You gotta really earn your pushes in this mode, which is quite nice. Not surprising to see the Splatling facing off against Griffin, who's gone for the Bamboo this time. I'm guessing they're leaving the Nautilus to be a bit more of a long-range cover. Ooh, Cozy out of ink and having a hard time escaping.
Oh dear. What are the few
Not
times
what you want for Atlas, but Booyah Squad might be able to pick them off early. Let's see how their Rainmaker handling is.
We've got an Inkjet coming out as well here from up high. Nice, gets that splat. you have that rain coming out, which can be quite dangerous to the Rainmaker carrier. But oh, Kyle! Oh, nice bit of teamwork there. They managed to get the Splatling.
Excellent flank, but they weren't able to deal with the pressure that was assailing the Rainmaker, which meant they weren't able to turn any of it into points. That being said, they just got a wipe, so if they can get a pop quickly, they will be able to capitalize. However, they don't get the pop, instead focusing on respawn and waiting for their returning teammates to pick it up. They do manage to do it, however.
Yeah, we have 2 down on Atlas right now. 3, that's a full wipe there. That's
a knockout. That's got to be a knockout. Even firing backwards to get a bit of extra speed, and it's done.
Nice.
Booyah Squad, wow, really striking back there. Be keen to see the splats on that one, especially because I felt like Atlas have had such a dominant performance up until this point.
Like even just looking at that map, it's almost entirely covered in pink everywhere they went. All those splats, wow.
Yeah, that checks out. Definitely a lot of roller flanking, makes a lot of sense. And even, yeah, they only had 2 left, but the people who did go down took out many other players with them. You can even see, look at where that player was splattered up there by the roller. Like, that is an aggressive roller. It worked out very well for their team.
Yeah, that was so well played. It felt like they had a strategy once again. The super aggro. I'm just trying to think like what happened at the beginning. It seemed like it was very even for a while there, but they got a triple or a wipe or something, and then just made the best of it. So
yeah, we did see members of Atlas trying to retreat as they rapidly lost ground, and Booyah Squad didn't really let them. They just kept firing on all cylinders, even when they did lose the Rainmaker. They focused more on the fighting than their positioning, and it worked out for them. Sometimes winning fights wins games, and there's your evidence right there.
Yep. All right, well, that is our result for that one. We've had a few other games finish in the meantime. So we had Prismatink 3-0 Splatbacks. We've had Problematic 3-0 Booyah Invaders. Solar Powered Sea Slugs 3-0 Sea Dragons. And Blooper Reel 3-0 Hydro Force. So no other close matches this round by the sound of it.
We also have a default 3-0 against Hoki, so it's been a lot of 3-0s this round. Not something you expect to see this far in, but like again, only 3 matches. The scoreboard may not portray how close these matches actually were.
Yeah, that's true. You never know if it was a win by 100-0 or 52-50. So I'm very glad that we have a few people recording today. So we'll be able to review the matches and actually have a look at the score lines for these things. But...
Absolutely. All right, so with that, half of the matches from round 3 are done. We did have a very quick KO there, so I'd expect a bit more time before we get the other ones in.
And we had some DCs by the sound of it as well. So, Australian internet has started playing up. Of course, that was bound to happen at some point. Yes.
It is an inevitability.
Yeah. We even had the fun kind of DC where one person saw one person DC and someone saw 3 people DC and that kind of weird desync thing. So
yeah, that's always a good time.
But still,
all right. Yeah, we soldier on. We play the game. We have a good time.
Yeah. All right. I don't know how we're going with. So what do we got? We've got Impact versus True Damage. We've got Juki versus Hourglass, and we've got. Well, we just saw Atlas versus Booyah Squad. So just those 2 matches we're waiting for now. Then we'll be going. I can't talk.
Then we'll be going into round 4.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That one. So what do we got for maps? Oh, that's right. So round 4, Splat Zone's Humpback Pump Track, which I love. Climb Blitz Snapper Canal, which I do not like at all. So I'm glad I'm not playing this. And then TC Marco Mart, which is another map I absolutely adore. It's
a fan favorite, especially if you really love having that strong tower pressure on that first checkpoint. It's very steamrolly if you can play it right, and that's why it's a fan favorite.
Yeah, and I just remember seeing so many tournaments where a good inkjet at any of the checkpoints on this map can just completely wipe out the other team, because it's so easy to inkjet up and into the other team's battlements and then just pick people off, basically. But of course, you know, same thing with Booyah, even Bubbles sometimes. It's just, it feels like it's a map that suits aggro play extremely well.
Oh, for sure. Especially when you make the opposing team split their attention between the tower, which is scoring points, and the flanker, which is absolutely tearing up your team. You can't deal with both. So you either lose points or you lose players and then lose points.
Yeah, it's so easy to flank. Like, there's nothing complicated about flank on this map. It's literally just run down right and then you're in their base. So
would you like some tea? Oh no, you're just splatting us. Oh dear. Absolutely.
Yeah, pretty much. So that is a great map.
In addition, splat zones on Humpback Pump Track I got to see a bit more of during Off the Hook Showdown. I saw some excellent play with E-leaders. You can turf the entire zone with 3 E-leader shots.
Really?
As long as you're set up on the left or right sides of the map, you have just, like, it's a very long zone, so you can just 1, 2, 3. And yeah, both teams were using that very effectively. I was quite impressed, because I'm used to seeing it be a Booyah farm, because Booyah Bomb paints it quite well. But yeah, that was an interesting strategy, being represented by 2 of our very strong teams.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I've also seen, of course, Bubbles tends to be a popular one. You can also use that from either of the hills and not actually go into the zone, or Bomb Rush as well. A fun one that Riptide likes playing is Bubbles and Bomb Rush, because then you just have things exploding everywhere. Yeah, that's a fun one. It's just, I think, it's just a fun map. I really like how they designed Humpback in general. So I am keen to see that one. All right, we have had another result come in. We did have a GK 3-0'd Hourglass. So we have that done. I think that's everything except Impact versus True Damage now. So almost there. All right. Trying to check. I don't have any updates on the state of that game just yet, so I guess we'll just wait a minute and see what we can get.
Of course, of course. Still need to be demoed.
Pardon?
Which teams are we still looking to show off to?
Ah, right. Yes. Fun thing, of course, is this list has everyone, and we don't actually have.
Well, 11K and Boba aren't playing today.
No, neither's Penguins or Prisma doesn't want to be streamed. Not Gallant, not Riptide, not Sturgeon, not Trident, not Unled Toad.
Sea Dragons.
Yeah.
Just Sea Dragons.
One.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put in a formal request for next round to absolutely spectate Sea Dragons. I want to see what they're up to. I want to see what they're cooking with.
See how many Hydras they have.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah, if we do that, and then we'll have covered every team. Well, between all the stream team, we'll have covered every team at least once, which is neat. Do have a few teams that have been spectated twice. So of course, need to probably try and avoid them a little bit now, but
gotta spread it out a bit. Makes sense.
Yeah. All right, what do we got? I keep getting notifications from Discord, and I assume it's possibly results, but no, it's just it's just people talking about cats. It's fine.
Oh my goodness, what a cat! Oh,
it's very cute.
Very good.
If anyone would like to see a cat,
thank you for that cat. Dr. Ree, your service is valid.
All right. Jeez, I have so many spreadsheets and things open at the moment. This is fine.
Yeah, totally fine. No problems.
Totally don't keep getting them confused. I'm just looking through the teams. Oh yeah, that's so. Unload the Toad. They were originally planning to play today, but they did have to pull out, unfortunately.
I mean, I imagine some of their players were tired from playing yesterday.
Yes.
Like they did very well in Off the Hook Showdown. I believe they made it to top cut.
I wouldn't be surprised considering their lineup is Echo, Solaris, Latias, and Skitter.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That is also a terrifying lineup.
I think they were third in the seeding, which was very strong, considering we had players that were like one of the teams was an NA pickup team with members from +2. So for them to, I think they even took a round off them.
Okay.
It's very impressive.
Huh. All right. Well, it will be good to see. Hopefully, they'll play next weekend, and then we'll get to see how they go then.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing that they have is all of their players are specialists in some kind of weapon. And the number of times I saw Rapid Blaster backing up a charger from Solaris and Latias was actually a really powerful combo. So, yeah, it was good stuff.
Okay. Alright. I do wonder, I mean, they're another team of just 4 players, which, like we were saying before, can be great for synergy, but also very interesting when you're trying to schedule matches. So, curious to see how that goes. I do wonder also if some of these 4-player teams might, pick someone up yet throughout the season. We'll see how it go.
Yeah. There's always a chance.
Oh, here we go. Shock was giving us some info here. They made it to top cut by the DQ. Fair.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And they pick up didn't drop a set. Listen, grand. Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna have to look at this off the hook.
I just tried to find the Oceanink results. The off the hook results on challenge, and I couldn't find the pages. I don't know if they're still up. I didn't have access to them, so I'm just gonna take Shock's info there and be like, yeah, it was very close. It was good stuff. They're gonna be a team to watch for sure. I mean, like, obviously with a player lineup like that, they're gonna be dangerous, but yeah, there's that extra little bit of power there.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. All right, so we have our final result for this round in now. True damage 3-0 impact, apparently. So
that's a lot of damage.
Oh dear. All right, so we're just going to take a few minutes to figure out who we're going to stream, record, whatever we're doing.
Round 4.
Here we go. So Sea Dragons is versus Hydro Force. I'm gonna ask them if they're okay with being.
There's another cat in general.
Aww, even like wrapped up in a blanket.
What a great day. What a great day this is.
Yeah, that's a good use of general. I like it. Alright. Just double checking Sea Dragons. So many messages to try and keep track of. Oh boy. Looks like Shades is wanting default versus Sea Slugs.
Fine.
just double check. Yeah, that sounds like going for Shades Attack.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bring some of our teams up to 2, which is nice.
Yep.
Salty will be back in a moment, so we'll see what they're going to do shortly. Alright, so Salty can probably take... Let's see.
Oh, hang on. Okay, cool. We are good. So we're going to take Dragons versus Hydra Force. Cool. We have had Hydra Force a couple of times, but this is fine.
I'm going to suggest Salty take Atlas and Jiki, because they're not streaming.
Yeah.
Oh no, Salty is streaming.
Oh, right, yeah.
Shades is recording. Right, so not that one.
Barno? Ask Barno to do that.
Okay, we're running out of time.
Alright.
Oh my god, there are so many cats in general! Oh, yes!
Oh dear.
This is great.
Oh, I love it. Wait, how many people in Oceanink have cats? This seems like a... This is very quickly seeming like most of Oceanink have cats.
Oh.
I mean, I'm good with this, but...
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense, right? People who like cats are good people.
Fair, fair. I can't disagree with that. Has anyone pinged Atlas and Jiki yet?
Well, I don't even know if they're available to record it, so I don't think anyone has. Like, they're not online at the moment, so...
Ah.
Yeah, I don't know if Barno will be able to get there in time, so I think we might have to leave it.
Yeah, fair enough. Alright.
And I think Salty might just have missed out. I don't know. Let's see. See if they can get Purblematic. Oh, they got Booyah Squad versus Blooper Reel. Okay. Cool.
Oh, alright, cool. Here we go. We're managing
Lovely.
the organizational things, sort of.
Heck yeah. Alright, and with that, we can tend to the stream again. Hey, stream, how we doing? Oh my goodness.
Turtle content?
Oceanink,
Yes.
you can absolutely provide turtle content.
This is fine. I'm good
Turtle
with this.
content is as good as cat content. And only slightly below frog content.
Where does dog content fit in this?
Dog content. Dogs have to work a bit harder to be good content.
Really?
But well, so here's the thing, right? Dogs do cute things, and that makes for excellent dog content. But like cute doggo pictures versus cute cat pictures, because cats don't do anything, so our standard for cats is lower. Whereas dogs, we've seen them do stuff, so cute doggos have to do stuff to qualify at the same level as cat content.
Yeah, this is fair. This is fair.
Yeah.
I'll take this. And we have a Zoom cat.
I'm not favoring one or the other, I'm just saying cats don't do much, so cute cat content, the bar is just a picture of a cute cat. Whereas cute dog content, I've seen dogs do all kinds of amazing things.
Yeah. I'm currently in the process of trying to adopt a dog, and I'm so keen. I just want a dog again.
Good luck. I'm hoping to get a cat soon too, but it's not allowed on our lease at the moment, so maybe next year.
Yeah, that's fair. I looked at getting a cat, but also I live on the 3rd floor. So that didn't seem like the smartest thing.
That cat might leave.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a long drop down, so... But, you know, puppy is still a good option, so...
Absolutely. And speaking of a good option, Sea Dragons and Hydro Force.
Yes! I feel like both of these teams are actually quite... I mean, we were saying before, like, everyone loves Sea Dragons, but I feel like there's a lot of love for Hydro Force as well in the community.
Yeah, they're definitely working really hard to earn a name for themselves, so that's definitely respectable. I'm always quite impressed with how much they've risen since seeding last year.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of Japtech, when we used to have them, because they just tore through the divisions. It was insane to see how quickly they improved. It's always great to see, you know, other teams doing that as well. And I think it's even a similar approach, because Japtech were also very, like, they studied their opponents. They put a lot of effort into practicing and practicing well. And yeah, I think Hydro Force are doing the same thing. So good to see it's working. It's hard to put that kind of effort in and to go about it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it gets results if you do it right, so well done to them. I was going to say also, Japtech, I think they're coming back for Blast from the Past, which is in a week, 2 weeks. It's in 2 weeks. So it'd be nice to see them reunite as well as a bunch of other teams. I had a look at it. Don't think my team's eligible because we're still together.
Well, see, this is the fun thing. Riptide is eligible because we're older than the series. Like,
yeah, wow, that's impressive.
I asked this the other day, and you know, I was asked, I think Griffin or whoever asked, oh, how long you've been using your current lineup? I'm like, well, 3 years now, 4 years. I don't remember.
A long time.
Yeah, so we've been counted as eligible apparently because we're just too old at this point. But yeah,
all a bunch of skeletons.
Yeah, something like that. But we might get into that. It does seem like a good tournament. So anyway.
Yeah, I mean, look, Perks is drawing the prize for last place. Like, art for last? That sounds great.
Yeah, I'll take that. Hey, here we go.
Double Hydro comp and a good map for it too.
Exactly what we wanted. We got the Booyahs coming out at the beginning as well. Everyone is here to have some fun, I think.
Yeah. Gaz is going to have to work really hard to keep his team safe though. A Dynamo and 2 Hydras aren't going to protect themselves too well from a surprise flank. So Gaz is really going to have to put in the miles.
Yeah, I mean, here we go. Sophie's getting a couple of hits here. Oh, no, there's the flank from the Tri-Slosh. Still, 3 down on Sea Dragons there. Yeah, that might be a little bit rough, but I mean, Sea Dragons can just sort of sit back and get picks, provided they don't get rushed too badly.
Here's the thing, that's what Hydro Force do. They're already rushing right onto enemy plat, throwing specials at them and giving them no chance to breathe, and dodging those Hydras as well.
Yeah, we did have a trade there, which is very nice to see. Oh, that is a full wipe onto Sea Dragons though. So
teams as well as I do, this is not a favourable matchup for Sea Dragons.
Yeah, that is true, unfortunately.
They have a very strong offensive line when they're unassailed, but unassailed is not a word that Hydro Force are aware of.
I do wonder... Oh, Sophie, they're getting a couple of splats. Very nicely done.
Yeah, but while this is all going on, that point timer is ticking down dramatically. They might be able to get neutral if they can push in here and make that Booyah Bomb count. Nice. They do! They
Very
get that penalty, and that is going to buy them some breathing room.
Yeah. And they should be able to get the zone back again. Here we go. We've got Booyah, Bomb Rush coming out as well. Sea Dragon's very, I guess, clumped up at the moment, sort of protecting each other a bit there, I think. Can definitely see what they're going for with the Dynamo and the Hydras. Nice work by Eve. Alright, we got the Booyah coming out again. It's a 1v1, basically.
Yeah, we'll keep Eve up and moving, and potentially in control of the zone if they aim one of their flicks slightly to the right. They do.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
very
Alright.
well done there, and going to keep that timer ticking. But I mean, look at that. We've had a flank come out. Yeah, Dynamo is definitely going to be key in protecting these Hydras as well. Getting that insta-det damage on a flanking approach has been working well for them so far. Let's see if they can continue to take it down.
Ooh. Very nice. Eva's getting so many splats here. Already up to 7. Very nice. We've got Yasuna trying to hide around the corner here. I think we had a bit of call-outs there from Sea Dragon. Very nice. 2 Hydras and a Dynamo is not actually very fun to run into.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Hydro Force are doing well, but they are sweating under this. Like, this is such
yeah. Oh!
Because if you put out a line, that happens.
Yeah. If you're not doing exactly the right thing, you run straight into all kinds of damage.
Brutal.
Alright, here we go. We've got a couple special coming out from Hydro Force. Oh, and Eve running out of ink there. Unfortunately, runs straight into the Tri-Slosh as well. But Tri-Slosh goes down. That paints the zone a bit.
Yeah, it's definitely keeping things a bit more even. Again, the penalties that are stacking against Sea Dragons are starting to look a bit scarier with the clock the way it is. Though that Booyah Bomb doesn't quite get cap on its own, so that will buy them a bit more time.
Oh, nice work there, Gaz. Alright, we should have this Bomb Rush coming out. Yep, there we go.
The Dynamo does manage to recap the zone, which means another penalty for Sea Dragons to go through. But with 2 down on Hydro Force, this is looking quite doable for them. They've found the answer, and that's staggering out Hydro Force's approach.
Oh, there we go. Gaz gets that splat there. Very nice.
Great movement.
Yeah, I'm assuming we probably have Shredder on some of these. At least one of the Hydras here, because those bubbles are going down very quickly. Oh, another penalty though. They're slowly chipping away, but Sea Dragons really have struggled a little bit with keeping the zone here.
Got into the center there with that Dynamo. They were able to quite adeptly split up Hydro Force's offensive. And they had to deal with. But right now, the time is not with them, and those penalties keep getting in the way of them scoring points. And the Booyah Bomb also doesn't help. That being said, 1 up for Hydro Force, and Eve, which means they will be able to get control over the zone. And with only 30 seconds left on the clock, it is going to be a close one. This is going to overtime.
Yeah. If Sea Dragons get this, I'm going to be so happy. Oh my goodness. Alright, we got Booyah coming out, directly aimed at 2 members of Hydro Force. They didn't manage to get either splat there, unfortunately. The zone's going to go back if they're not careful.
Booyah Bomb's going to cap it. That's going to be another penalty for them to deal with. And with 10 seconds left and 2 members down, it's looking like a rough take.
Yeah, we've got the rain coming out here. We've got Eve with the Dynamo.
Does get the double.
Splat. Oh no, it goes down. I think the rain, unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Inkstorm providing just enough turf to not only take out Eve, but also make sure that that zone is very green.
Yeah.
Incredibly well fought. It looked like a Hydro Force knockout at the beginning, but once they got their feet in the ground and started their Hydras a-spinning, I think they've instilled some fear into Hydro Force.
It's amazing seeing what Seadra... Like, you wouldn't think that 2 Hydras and a Dynamo and a Splash against Hydro Force's super aggression would work, but yeah, they just kept taking back the zone. They kept getting the picks. I didn't see how many splats Eve had with the Dynamo at the end there on Sea Dragons, but I'm assuming it was quite high.
Yeah, I think it was around like 14, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
No one broke the high 20s in this match. It was very like back and forth and just standstilly. But yeah, like still very good work, especially considering a lot of those splats were done solo. And usually Dynamo works best from high ground from far away, but when Eve is holding it, it is a giant guillotine that swings down upon your opponent.
Oh yeah, that was so good. Oh, here we go. We've got the last few seconds here.
I think the main key here is that the double Booyah Bomb. Oh no, that's only 1 Booyah Bomb on Hydro Force. They had bubbles as well. But that Booyah Bomb did come out from Hydro Force 8 times, which definitely helped them in capping that zone and just stacking those penalties on.
I think both Hydras and the Dynamo on Sea Dragons had double-digit splats by the end of that. So, yeah, I mean, for the first tournament that they've played in since they went on hiatus, that was a pretty good showing from Sea Dragons. Jeez.
Absolutely. I know they've been practicing a lot over the last few weeks.
It's definitely
So
showing.
it's good to see results coming out. Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome stuff.
All right. Well, we are going to be moving to Clam Blitz Pit next. I do wonder how Sea Dragons. I assume they're going to change up their comp a bit because do Hydras work on Pit? I don't feel like they do. Not for Clam Blitz, at least.
You could probably work one for your defensive line, but for your offensive, you're going to need something a bit more mobile. It's a long distance to travel from your basket to theirs. It's a long, flat distance.
Yeah, there's not too many nice little perches to stand on and such. So, will be interesting. I mean, they could also sub someone in. We could see maybe Blaze come in or anyone else there, but why am I getting pings?
Yeah, I mean, like, also Hydro Force have plenty of people they could substitute in for this. Oh, hang on, wait, the map has changed? Now Snapper Canal, which is sensible because that's what we said earlier.
Yes.
We did not like it, and now it makes sense as to why.
Those were the round 3 maps. There we go. Okay.
Right. This is a nasty one. This is very nasty. Oh. Oh boy.
Yeah, this...
You could run a double Hydra. You definitely could. It's clams, so it's difficult, but you definitely could.
Yeah, I mean, if you have someone perched up that little block in mid, where the zone usually is, and I guess if you had someone sitting either on the street or around the far side on the plateau there, yeah, I mean, the Hydras could sit back a bit and maybe sort of just keep the pressure on. But you definitely need someone to be pushing to get that, like to get the balls in, get the clams in. So.
And this is one of the baskets that has multiple approaches from different sides. Your flank is quite high. The ink rail jump is very hard to defend against if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah.
And like straight and narrow can come in so quickly. It's a very hard map to defend. Often the best defense is a good offense. If you're scoring on the opponent, they're not scoring on you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess at least with a bit of range here, that definitely makes it easy to watch the ink rail approach. But that flank, you don't want to be getting rushed through there. So
we know Hydro Force are going to be all up in Sea Dragon's business. Given the opportunity. So maybe something a bit more mobile might benefit Sea Dragons in this round. We'll see.
Definitely interested to see what they bring out. All right, sounds like we're starting. Here we go. Clam Blitz on Snapper Canal. Hydro Force versus Sea Dragons. What do we got here? Ooh, okay.
I like what I see. We do have a Hydra and Dynamo combo. Seems to be working very well as a mainstay for them, but also running a vanilla Luna, which doesn't get a lot of love nowadays, but I'm very happy to see it. I hope there are enough fine angles to really make that worthwhile. I mean, Hydro Force running a full aggression comp. They've got 2 NZAPs, CDS, and a standard vanilla roller. They're going to be up in the face.
Oh yeah, I mean Blaze has already got 2 splats to their name, so a little bit of aggression coming out there. Oh, here we go. We got Yasuna got a couple of splats there for Hydro Force. So I assume we might see a push here. Oh, the Dynamo trying to defend, but gets caught out by a bomb.
Yeah, and a bit of unfortunate ink beneath their feet that prevented them from being able to run away from that. We are going to see Hydro Force with an advantage here, but they've only got 7 clams at the moment. The clams are ticking up, but not fast enough for Sea Dragons to not be caught aside. They are going to be able to get a respawn in and put a stop to this.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. We've got the baller coming out from the Luna there. Going to chase some people down. Nicely played.
Actually, 24 clams now for Hydro Force. If they can sneak those in, they're going to be in a good position. But are they holding 2 sets of 9? It seems like they were. I didn't see any power clams on the board for them. And losing a player, they lost quite a few. So, yeah, all their clams are sitting in quite high numbers right now. They just need that opportunity to push in.
Yeah, they don't seem to have the map control though. Sea Dragons seem to have quite a bit of pain. So, oh, here we go. Here should be a push coming in. Although they are 2 down. Both teams are 2 down at the moment.
The armor will help them get under the basket and make that dunk happen. And the missiles isn't going to be quite enough to scare them off, but whether they'll be able to follow it up is the question here, especially with that Hydra moving into position.
Yeah, we got the roller going down there to the Luna. Very nicely played. Looks like we might have a flank, but the Dynamo is well aware.
Yeah, you can't really flank past the Dynamo.
Yeah,
they know what they're doing.
Alright, well, 68, that's, I mean, it's a push, but it's not as crazy as that could have been. So well played by Sea Dragons there to, I mean, just take out members of Hydra Force and get those clams off the board.
Sure.
Definitely could have been a lot worse.
I love seeing Gaz there with the expert Luna knowledge, knowing that you can take a few shots to the face as long as you get that direct. Throws the ball in and then ballers out to scare out the opposing team. Unfortunately, doesn't find any picks, maybe exploding a bit too soon.
No!
Not quite able to sneak in and get the follow-up, and they are caught in a rough position. They're winning the fight, though. That's very impressive. Blaze has always been an excellent skirmisher. We're seeing that in spades today, but they are eventually chased down by the CDS, having that superior range. Ready to go.
Yeah, we've got some clams starting to add up here as well. A little bit of juggling there by Name. It looks like they have some kind of plan. The scores aren't all that dissimilar at the moment, really. So, 7 minute 40. Anything could happen, I guess.
Yeah, one dunk from either team could significantly change the results of this match. But obviously, with 23 clams available for Hydra Force. That being said, Power Clam goes down in mid. I mean, Sea Dragons are definitely able to keep mid control here. You can see even Neme's getting pressured at the top. Not able to move around. This Power Clam is rushing to get in. I mean, yes, they're making a good call, going for the attack rather than jumping for it. Oh, the armor gets them pushed in the water. That is very well played by the Hydra there. Armor is hard to deal with when you're a Hydra.
Yeah, that was just amazing. And like, everywhere they tried to go, they just kept running into a member of Sea Dragons who forced them to, well, fall back and then fall in the water. So, very nicely played. I love that entire sequence there. Oh no, oh, Blaze gets one. Alright, there's someone else here.
Yeah, Blaze is just hunting for them. The armor is going to give away their positioning. And again, like, they have enough clams to make something happen here. They just need that opening. They've got 2 specials ready. It's probably enough to get it done.
Here we go. Here comes the missiles.
Okay, we do see the bombs throwing out there. Gaz is just trying to zone out the opponent player. They do cause the jump out. I think Hydra Force are switching to defense at this point with only 20 seconds left. And a Pity Clam waiting for Sea Dragons. If they grabbed it, that would be the key to taking their victory here. But maybe they're trying something sneakier. Maybe Eve is going to try and sneak around. Who knows? Gaz goes in for the shark. Doesn't find any picks and is now stuck in mid. Dynamo's down as well. It's not a good position for them. They've picked up their pity, but it's looking like Hydra Force are going to get the shutout on that dunk.
Yeah, just getting that ball in at the end there. I was honestly surprised Gaz didn't, the Luna didn't use their baller there and baller in under the basket and then try and get their teammates to jump in. But perhaps just thought it was a bit too dangerous or something. Yeah, look at those splats on both teams. I think it's slightly in Sea Dragon's favor, but still pretty even there. So, yeah, like this.
I mean, the scoreline's very close on these matches. Like the zones match came down to, I think it was 15. That one came down to very nearly 15 as well. Sea Dragons are just not quite able to assert their hold for long enough. We saw in zones they had a good hold for a very long time. They lost it just a moment every so often, and that would give them a penalty. And that time, they had mid control for most of the match, but they just lost it when they had the clams ready to go in and make that push happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's unfortunate that didn't quite all pan out together. Also, Gaz is telling us in chat they might have balled under the basket there at the end, but Hydro Force were able to get in just a bit faster. So unfortunate that it panned out that way for Sea Dragons, but still, they've got plenty of chances here to make it happen in this last match.
Yeah, I mean, this
Yeah,
is
we can
why...
see...
Oh. Yeah, that's so close at the end there, but not quite able to get that splat to stop the push. This is why we like streaming and recording so many of the matches during seeding, because the score says 2-0, but when you actually watch this back, this is so close. It's definitely important
if
to
you
have
totaled the
context.
points, it would be
Yes.
very close.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's unfortunate that Splatoon doesn't have a nice way of doing that. It would make life a lot easier. But yeah, just being able to watch this gives you so much better context for what is actually happening in these matches here. So, all right, well, we are going to TC Marco mod. I'm assuming we're going to get at least the Hydra, and they're probably going to be the one riding the tower.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I imagine we'll still see the Dynamo again, which will be putting a lot of pressure onto those platforms. I think Sea Dragons are going to be very happy with this map. It seems like it'd be right up their alley.
It really does.
And they'd be aware that Hydro Force are playing aggressively at this point, so they'd know to watch out for flanks. I think they're in with a good chance here. I definitely think they're going to put up a good defense early on. We'll see how it progresses from there.
Yeah, agreed. All right, TC Marco Mart, Hydro Force versus Sea Dragons. Let's see what we got. Ooh, Blaster.
The Dynamo is not on the sign I was expecting. But I mean, that's just more proof that Neme is an excellent flex moving into this.
Yeah, I mean, we've got basically a junior coming out on even so the Dynamo. Oh, that's 3 down already. We do have the Hydra just sitting there, gets that splat with some fall off. Very nice. Oh,
Inkjet on that plat does make a lot of sense. As you mentioned, very good for that early aggression. And while Hydropod do lose some members, they clear the checkpoint and they are backing off. They are good with what they have accomplished so far. And a nice amount of points remaining. They're going to be able to regroup and make this push happen again. Yasna is actually not satisfied and is just flinging onto plat and hoping to find some extra splats there. And is now going around for this absolute wide flank. Very quickly done with the curling bomb, but no one's really... Oh, the Hydra was here. I was going to say, no one's really here anymore. The Hydra was. But the rest of Sea Dragons are pushing.
Yeah, and those points are counting out. I was like, no, we've stopped. We've got 2 down on Sea Dragons now. We have the Pro just sitting back a bit there, not being too aggressive. Probably trying to just stay alive.
Yasna is in full flank position. It's just like, no one's here.
Yeah.
There's no one here. Where is everyone?
Yeah.
Fortunately, they have noticed and they're taking the moment to rotate back around, though. They have gone down. Someone on Sea Dragons might have hunted them out. Hydro Force looking to extend their lead here, but the Blaster gets an excellent pick and is going to ensure that Hydro Force have to back off. Sophie's not sure where Yasna is. That was definitely like a where is the roller? There is only one left. And yep, sure enough, Yasna was behind and managed to clean them up. They were right to be wary, but they weren't quite able to find in time. Blaze is going to have to work very hard to stay up against this roller here.
Ooh.
Never mind.
Bit of teamwork there. That works.
That's great.
Right.
I love seeing that Blaster go to work, especially on tower like this. It's got a nice amount of reach as far as blasters go.
Oh yeah. I mean, the Inkjet, I think it's the Inkjet one. Yeah. That also just helps so much on this map. So, walking into the corner there, Blaze goes into Inkjet. Yep. Might
We'll get them up, but I have a feeling that they're going to get pressured quite heavily being the last player up. Their landing spot may not be safe. No, they are able to get out, and Hydro Force are moving slowly. I'm guessing Sea Dragons are assailing them from the top there. Yasuna's jumped up and is trying to deal with Gaz on that Hydra. Not quite able to find them.
Yeah, slow wipe there. Dynamo is first back up. I'm just trying to get a bit of paint and get back in. This might be a push from Sea Dragons, but they are going to have to deal with this Dynamo first, so they're going to be in a bit of trouble. Oh!
We do have that is a hero shot, jumping down and getting the double there. The rest being cleaned up. They are definitely looking good to clear this checkpoint, as long as they can deal with this errant member and the Dynamo coming back up. They do.
Yeah, we've got the Tri-Slosh coming from on the side there. Yasuna goes down to the Inkjet. Very nicely done. Still going to have to deal with the Tri-Slosh, but they're hunting for them. 2v1 there, very nice. We have the Hydra on the tower, does go down. We've got someone else rotating around to the tower, though.
Second checkpoint and lead, though, and Blazed is still here to buy their team a bit of time on respawn. You'll notice Blazed isn't, like, pushing in to get a splat. They're just trying to distract everyone and pull them out, and then they jump out. Very well played. That is going to buy them extra seconds as we close down on the last minute of this match.
Yeah, the strategy, like, the play style from Sea Dragons here, it's so patient. And it's working so well against Hydra Force. And I can't decide if it's because they're just sort of countering the super aggression, or if they've actually made Hydra Force sort of switch off the super aggression.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. They seem to have caught out whenever Hydra Force are overextending and punishing correctly, which means that Hydra Force have to change strategy, and that's not something they seem to be equipped for right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, we have Jam coming in for a wide flank here, but I'm pretty sure Sophie and Blaze know exactly where they are. Yes, they do.
Yep.
And while they do get one on a trade out, a trade is not what you want when you don't have the lead.
Yeah, 2 down on Hydra Force already, 3 down on Hydra Force.
Lovely bomb throws. Look at Sea Dragons here, just absolutely chucking those bombs, making sure that there is no safe approach for Hydra Force in these closing seconds.
Yeah, they're not trying to push, they're just sort of holding it. Oh, that splat there, nice teamwork here between Blaze and Jelly.
I think the roller's on tower? No, they're down, that's it.
That was a full wipe. Oh my goodness.
Excellent work there by Sea Dragons, really proving that they do deserve a point in this set.
Oh yeah, look at that map, just so purple throughout. They were just keeping that whole time. How have we done on splats here? Because I feel like those numbers might be, oh boy! Alright, 22, 20, 17, 15. That is a ridiculous number of splats.
Yeah, Eve just absolutely cleaning up on the flanks today. Very well done, and very smart play as well. We didn't see any overextensions from Sea Dragons. Everything was nice and metered, and it worked out well for them in the process.
Sophie, did we get a nice score there as well? I missed that, but yep.
No.
All right, we got a nice score as well. Cool. I mean, obviously you win that one just based on the nice score. So
I expect nothing less from Sea Dragons.
Definitely. That was good. I am so glad we decided to spectate that.
Yeah, 2 very different playstyles on these teams, and we saw them kind of evolve and adapt over the course of just 3 rounds. I can't imagine what it'll be like during the actual Oceanink Series.
Oh yeah, I'm so keen for that. Oh look, we have a replay of the score. Yep.
Nice!
Perfect work there. All right.
See, here's the thing. Sea Dragons probably could have gotten more points, but they knew how to really win.
Oh yeah, you don't need any more than that. This is exactly what you want. Perfectly played there. All right. This just makes the whole thing worth it. Like, that was a great match. I absolutely love watching that. So...
All right. Now, chat is asking for Atlas and Blooper Reel quite adamantly for our round 5. Should we give the people what they want?
Blooper Reel has been recorded 3 times already, apparently.
True.
So, let me just look
Atlas
at the...
only have 1.
Who else? Herky, Hourglass, Dookie, Problematic.
Problematic are against Booyah Squad. Both teams have been... Oh no, Booyah Squad twice, Problematic once.
That might be a good one to get someone to... get someone in the stream team to take that.
Yep. It's good. Shades would like Blooper Reel versus Atlas, so... are we gonna allow that?
Yeah, what was it?
Shades would like Blooper Reel versus Atlas.
Yeah, alright. There we go. Alright. Alright, yeah. Just trying to pick. I mean, who... Let me actually refresh so I can see these scores properly. What are we sitting on? So we currently got Atlas at first, Jiki, True Damage, Blooper Reel, and Solar Powered. on tying on second.
Apparently, we also have a data entry error in the scoring bracket.
Yeah, I think Nico was just fixing that one quickly for us.
Okay, great. Hopefully that doesn't mess with the lineup for the next set of matches.
Yeah, I'm just gonna refresh, make sure that's all good. All right. Let's see, what do we got? I mean, we could take Jiki versus Solar Powered. They're actually no, sorry, not Jiki. It's hard to pick teams at this point.
It sure is. Everyone's seen some play. What about? I mean, we could see True Damage and Sea Dragons. Both teams have been played once, and one is the minimum time.
This is true. That might be. I'm just looking at the standings.
Yeah.
Be an interesting match potentially.
I see. Yeah, gotcha. That is. Whoa, hang on. Whoa. Why?
Yeah, the standings are very interesting at the moment. All right.
Swiss bracket. Why?
So for those who don't know, Challenge doesn't deal with Swiss very well. This is fine. All right. I have to keep jumping between tabs so I can figure out. I don't know this. Yeah. Booyah versus Purr.
Which Booyah?
Booyah Squad. Right. Yes.
Yeah, Squad and Perb is probably a good one to get. Perb's only got one under so far, and it would be good to know more about them, so might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Salty's taking Booyah and Beta. Okay, great, that's already in here. Lovely.
Alright, let's do this then.
Okay.
Aw,
Poor Splatback. Oh, my babies.
how? Oh, yeah.
It's not going well.
To be honest, I admire Splatback so much just for like their mental fortitude. I don't know, they just keep playing and the results don't seem to bother them. Whether they win or lose, they just always seem fine. So
yeah, that checks out. We're just there to have a good time. I wonder if they actually ended up running the quad slosh today.
Oh yeah, that was a thought. Oh boy.
I'll have to check in with them later.
Yeah, because you haven't ended up playing it all.
No, that's okay. I haven't been asked for, so I assume they're doing fine without me.
Alright then.
Alright, so Booyah Squad versus Problematic. Because cats. Cats are very problematic. Oh my god, there are more cats in general. What a great day. Oh, there's a dog in general!
Hey!
Oh, cute little dog! More cute doggy. Oh, puppo. That's great. Meowsif should really have lunch. Meowsif, if you're listening, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Go have lunch.
Happy birthday, Meowsif! Go eat.
Please eat. Squid Game is good, but food is also good.
Yeah, I did the smart thing for once and ate before.
Heck yeah.
That doesn't always happen, unfortunately. But yes.
No, I mean, yeah, it happens to the best of productive people. Food just falls down that priority list, but it's always good to check in with yourself and say, am I hungry?
Yeah.
Do I need something right now? Did I leave my water on the table behind me and I'm just too occupied to spend any moment in the last 2.5 hours to go get it? Yeah.
Just going.
One moment, please.
Alright then. Alright. For those, since most can't see, we're also going to fudge the bracket a little bit because unfortunately some results went in wrong, and therefore Challenge can't deal with you correcting results in Swiss either. That's not something it's happy with. So we're going to fudge the bracket slightly.
Oh, but Splatbacks are going to be so happy.
Oh yeah. So the bracket says Splatbacks versus Hydro Force and True Damage versus Sea Dragons. We're switching things, and we're gonna put Splatbacks versus Sea Dragons and True Damage versus Hydro Force. Because yeah, unfortunately those teams got a little bit. Challenge is not being nice to them. So
It's certainly trying.
yeah. So that should be A, much nicer for those teams, and B, much more helpful for seeding data. So yeah, we'll take this.
Absolutely. Oh man, if Sea Dragons end up in the same div as Splatbacks, it's going to be an amazing season.
That would be so much fun. Oh my goodness.
So happy. All right. In the meantime, we do have our lobby ready to go for Booyah Squad versus Problematic. Both teams have had a pretty good run of it today.
Yeah, both on 2-2 at the moment.
Booyah Invaders, I think, are 1-3, but
Booyah
they
Squad,
have...
not Booyah Invaders.
Yep. Can't do this.
Yep. Every season, there is at least 2 teams that have very similar names, and therefore we get very confused.
And I imagine it's usually unintentional, so it's not like we can blame anyone for this.
Yes.
But what we can say is at least it's 2 similar names that are themed around the game and not just 2 completely random names that happen to line up.
Yes, which has also happened before. So,
yes, it has.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Goodness.
I mean, one of the best things about Oceanink to me is that most of the team names are some kind of pun. And we've somehow managed to carry that through from like the beginning of Splatoon 1 competitive in Oceanink till now. We're starting to get a little bit more serious, I guess, but like...
There are still some very clever names going on.
Yeah. I mean, just looking down the list, like Blooperil, Boba Squids, Booyah Invaders, Booyah Squad, Hokey Hokey Ink Club, Hydro Force, Ink Pact, Prismatink, Problematic. Yeah.
We like to have fun here.
Oh, yes.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Ooh, Rainmaker on Kelp Dome. This is something that really gets exciting and quite spicy. Booyah, a Blob Deco makes a lot of sense for that defensive line, as well as a hero Splatling. Going to be very interesting to see how that comes into play. And also, a little mini Splatling getting some play here for Booyah Squad. Love to see it.
I think, if I'm actually remembering my weapon kits correctly for once, we have at least one Stingray on both teams here. Here we go, we've got the first Stingray coming up.
CJS is definitely repping that Stingray, and the standard vanilla Splatling also has that in its kit. So yeah, and I mean, it's Rainmaker, it makes sense. They're going to be able to hold choke point really well with that, assuming they have it built up and ready to go. And look at that, immediately zooming away, Booyah Squad is zipping down the hallway. And the Bomb Rush is going to provide them a nice bit of room. Only the Squiffer is left up. That is going to be a very hard thing to stop.
Oh, that blob coming out though, being able to just rain ink down. Oh, but they've gotten behind the target, and yeah.
That's the thing with the blob. It can reach well to a certain distance, but after that, you can jump above or underneath those blobs and completely avoid them. Also, if you're moving quick enough, it won't one-hit you. You need to get hit by 4 of those blobs to make that happen. Booyah Squad earning a very decisive early victory there. Well done.
Yeah.
Also, 6 splat assists on that Sorella for a 1-minute match. That's very impressive.
Yeah, you could see them right at the beginning there when they were dancing around mid, sort of held someone back for a while and then hid behind the corner. And I think they were doing that until their teammate could come around and turn that fight into a 2v1. So definitely seemed like some really good teamwork there. All right, what do we got wrong with the spelling things on the overlays? Oh, here we go. Nice. Here's our push. Yeah, we got this.
Yeah, I mean, most of the damage has already been done by this point. The bomb's just making sure that the Rainmaker had a clear path through. You can see those blobs bouncing there, but there is an area where you can move through. Yeah, we saw the blob shoot slightly to the left and slightly to the right, and there was that little gap, that window that was perfectly hit by the Rainmaker runner for Booyah Squad. They were able to get through and get that knockout.
Yeah, and that mini was already set up in the other team's base, and yeah, just well played there.
Yeah, I'd say they moved very quickly, and they were able to take advantage of that wipe a lot better than most.
That's for sure.
Shame we don't get to see more Rainmaker, but we're going to move on to a very fun Zones on New Albacore Hotel.
This is an interesting map. I mean, we only have the one zone on this map, but getting to it is, I mean, you've either got like the rope bridge thing you've got to walk across, or you could try and jump from the block. But I mean, whenever you're jumping, if the other team has a sniper or anything with decent, well, blaster or anything, it makes you a very easy target. Or you have to take the really long route on either side of the map, which either requires like crossing across half the map or going across a bridge or another jump as well.
One thing I will say about zones on this map in particular is flanks are a lot easier to set up. You can quite easily hide yourself from your opponent's awareness by just putting yourself on the other side of the river, rotating around, and then cleaning up. So, yeah, teams tend to get quite aggressive on this one, and the charges are going to make that very interesting. I love seeing the Squiffer coming out from Octoree here again. It's a very cool pick that not many teams are taking use of, and I hope they get some slats with it.
Yeah, interesting. We have 2 charges on both teams, basically, but absolutely no double up on which charges.
No.
We have 4 different charges in this lobby.
An amazing lack of consensus. There we have that early flank coming out, as mentioned. Flanks can happen quite quickly. Oh, lovely! Shot back with King. CDS is going to be able to clear that up with its lovely range, but yeah, I mean, Booyah Squad did an excellent job getting a pick, but then distracting the enemy sniper for a while, allowing them to have free reign of the map for a while and really track on some points.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's going to be interesting. Oh, see, we already have people coming in from both sides here.
Absolutely. Booyah Squad seem to be very flank happy, and it's a good map for it, so I do support it, but they got to win the fights as well. They can't just get the flanks off.
Yeah, well now they've got a couple of spots there, but I think mostly just forced the other team back. So now we've got some points coming down, but oh, here we go. Stingray and Booyah at the same time. That's
out, I think, by a charger with a shooter comboing it. Aerospray doesn't really have a lot else to offer for this map, so those Booyahs are critical.
Yeah, you really just want to be focusing on the paint there. Oh, we got Jamboy coming in here. I think they managed to get a splat.
They did, and they're distracting 2 others. The E-Leader does take them out, but that has definitely bought their team time to move in and get into position.
Yeah, alright, we have a bomb rush coming out here. Does get the zone. There was some kind of shooter hiding around here before, but oh, here we go. Bit of a battle coming out. Oh! That was... got the splat and immediately got sniped.
Yeah, unfortunate, but at least... for their team, they were able to do a bit of dancing and really distract that bomb rush from going absolutely nuts. We do have Jamboy trying to get back in here, but they're being pressured by the bamboo. They're going to have a hard time moving over this jump, especially with 2 charges watching them.
Yeah, they do have that splashdown there, so I half thought they might go for the zone there, but no, decide to go for the sniper and do go down.
Yeah, it wasn't really a wise fight to pick, unfortunately. The bamboo being much more adept at taking that kind of a fight, especially when they had the height advantage. It's all well and good to dodge 1 bamboo shot, but the reason you pick bamboo is that if you miss, you just fire again.
Yeah, it is an interesting combo. Like, you've got the fast fire bamboo, like fast fire and shortish range, and the super long fire, long charge time E-Leader. Really does let you sort of cover a lot of the map and in very different ways at the same time. So, yeah, okay. It's an interesting comp, and it's not one I thought I'd see, but I can see why they went for it. So.
Yeah, it's definitely they're picking what they're comfortable with, and they figured out a way to make it synergize. It's not something that just happens on a whim. Like, you have to kind of put some work in to make that happen. So, kudos to Booyah Squad for making that work. Also, Problematic probably need to work on their team play a bit more. We did see a few solo fights get taken there that probably didn't need to be taken. And I hesitate to call their gameplay style problematic at the moment, but I'd like to see a different style out of them. They've been getting washed out of the objective quite easily by Booyah Squad at this point.
Yeah, they definitely need to shake something up so that they can maybe, I don't know, get a bunch of picks and then rush the objective. I mean, perhaps if they'd all rush the objective together more in that map, they might be able to get it back a bit more. But yeah, well, definitely people sort of trickling in occasionally, which really doesn't help when you're up against snipers. So, all right. Sounds like we're taking a little bit of time to pick weapons and such. So,
That's good.
Yeah, good sign.
I'm just having a look at the ranges of the weapons because the question came up in chat, and I thought I'd have a look-see. It's not immediately available information, so you actually have to do a bit of poking to find it. But assuming it's unchanged, Bamboo and Squiffer have a very similar range at full charge, but at half charge, the Bamboo obviously wins out because of how it works. So yeah, I guess it's a pretty dead heat between the two. And often chargers aren't playing at maximum range anyway. It's hard to know exactly when opponent enters your range unless you've really nailed the eyeball on that down. So chances are you're both within each other's range if one of you is in range.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially once you start taking into account angles and elevation and slopes and things, it just... Trying to calculate your max range is... Kudos to anyone who can, put it that way. So, all right, sounds like we're loading into the map now. We're going to Clan Blitz on the Reef.
The last game for the day.
It's 2 and a bit hours. Okay, I almost calculated it right. All right. Ooh, okay. We have 2 brushes coming out on Problematic here.
Junior is becoming a very popular pick for Clan Blitz, so I'd like to see that there, especially K Junior. We also have, double brush for Problematic. Clearly they're going for a very sneaky, surprisey strategy. Let's see if it works out for them.
I mean, it does give them that ability to sort of rush into the objective that I was talking about just before, so perhaps they could use it quite well against this team, but they are getting picked off quite quickly here.
Fortunately, they have a comp that's very difficult to work on defense. Booyah Squad are going to be able to control their basket pretty easily if they don't do something about it.
Yeah, especially with that Dynamo already sitting on 5 splats, they're just able to sort of rain ink onto Problematic. Yeah, now it's set up above the car there. That can be quite hard. Oh, nice. They do get 1 down for on Booyah Squad. We have 2 down though on Problematic. They really need to get some splats. Octary going for the Dynamo here, doesn't quite get it. Trying to get the jump, gets the jump. Very nice. All right, we got a brush going after someone in the corner here. All right, 2 down on Booyah Squad. Looks like they have to set up all over again. 35 points, pretty good score there. Problematic are going to have to work quite hard to get that back.
You have a lot of clan gather for Problematic, but one thing I think that comp is missing, and it's the reason that you usually don't run a comp without at least one shooter. I don't know if their turf is going to be on point, especially in Nautilus. Being their largest turf output is going to be a bit of a problem. While King is able to get under the basket and get this 1 clam in. Oh, actually, Octos has come in with the backup clams. And the power clams jumped in as well. I was going to say their problem would have been collecting clams if they were just sneaking them in, but look at that. They've scrambled the enemy team, they've snuck around, they jumped a power clam into boot, and they've taken the lead. That's incredible.
I don't even know where they picked up those clams. I mean, there's also a bunch below them that they haven't gone to get, which is very unfortunate. But
Octory just had the clams already from the map, and they just ran in with them on the ink brush.
That was
so yeah, that's clearly a practiced and executed plan. While they still don't have any kind of turf control on the map, the brushes don't really need it.
Yeah.
And if the brushes are able to get under the basket, the rest of the team can too.
Yeah, Yeah, we have King coming in again here. Gonna run into two members though. Just walk straight past them.
I question them throwing themselves at the basket like this to get clams in because they're not getting through their penalty and they're just losing members. Meanwhile, Booyah Squad are building clams and building special, which means they're going to be able to come in with a strong push as soon as this is over.
Yeah, they do have two balls at the moment. We got one going down there, but have been forced back a little bit. We do have this junior here setting up. They do have bubbles. That's going to be pretty bad. If they can get those bubbles out and protect their approach to get the ball in. 35 clams total on Booyah Squad right now. Problematic really need to get some splats. But they are two down. Both the rushes have gone down. They've got the bubbles coming out to protect. We've got a ball coming out, but Booyah coming out. It's going to be very dangerous.
Absolutely. All the specials are coming out at once because they knew they would get this opportunity. They've taken lead and they've won. And the thing is, Problematic were focusing so much on reducing their penalty that they were just losing the fights, right? They weren't even trying to fight. They were just like, I'll just get 2 clams in. And 2 clams is all well and good when you're actually scoring points. But when you have a penalty there, it is much more beneficial for you to actually win those fights and prevent your opponent from being able to come back with a counterattack like that. I think that's just a core bit of strategy that Problematic are going to have to work on. Because while they had an excellent push, it was standout. The fact that they tried to sustain it with their lives really cost them there.
Yeah, if they'd had perhaps like 2 or 3 of them going in and they're actually able to back each other up, and they could have gotten some fights if Booyah Squad rotated to try and take them out. Might have worked that way, but yeah, running it one at a time just to get a couple of clams in.
Ink brushing up to the goal to get a clam in or 2 is good, but when there's 2 opponents standing there, you're only getting 2 clams in, and they are going to get you.
Yeah.
So maybe instead throw a bomb at them, scare them away, try and buy yourself some space before you score, or hold on to the clams, do another push. You managed to get to the basket so well the first time, there's nothing saying you won't get there again.
Yeah, if they put off another push like that, they could have gotten the KO. So, maybe just...
yeah, tactically, very well played to Booyah Squad. They recognized the weakness in Problematic strategy there, and they exploited the heck out of it. And, Problematic almost got the KO on their first push, so I'm sure they were very happy to be able to stop that in time and get their counter push going.
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 games were very heavily in Booyah Squad's favor, so well done to Problematic for getting such a good score on that last game. They definitely did have a strategy.
Absolutely. Yeah. I look forward to seeing them improve over the series as well. Like, they're only going to improve from here. They're only going to get better as they play more together. So I really want to see what this team's capable of, especially because of their amazing weapon compositions. They're so adaptive to the map they're choosing. And they're picking some really strange stuff. So I want to see it work for them. I want to see it work in their favor.
I mean, I guess the thing when you pick strange comps is I mean, meta is meta for a reason, because it tends to be easier to sort of have consistent results with. I love seeing strange comps, but you do have to kind of either practice or really have a strategy to go with them.
Absolutely. You really have to go the extra mile on that one. You can't just throw it all together and be like, I know this works for me, because that's all well and good. But when your team needs your help and you're worried about you, your team is going to have a hard time.
Yeah. But if you can put that extra effort in, oh boy, those strange comps can be so good for tournaments. Just
so surprising, so shocking. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, yep, all right, I'm ready for the K-Pros, and then suddenly, double ink brush, what up?
Yeah, it can really throw your opponent off. So definitely keen to see what Problematic can do. I hope they stick with the strange comps, because it will be nice to see what they can pull off later in the season. But yeah, all right, we've had a couple other results come in. Prismatink 3-0 Hourglass, Atlas 2-1 Blooper Reel. We had Default Splatoon Team 2-1 Inkpact. We've still got a couple more matches to go, but that is the end of seeding 1 for today. Is there any announcement things I need to make? I guess we have team registration closes on Thursday. So 11:55 p.m. AEST, because midnight's confusing, on Thursday. So if anyone is still thinking of registering, you only have a few more days.
And you've just had a lovely view of what our Oceanink Series is going to be like. A huge swath of skill levels, all kinds of crazy compositions. Don't tell me you don't want to be part of this action. This is going to be so fun, so chill, so exciting. We're going to hit all the emotional spectrum. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and like it's not the series isn't something where you need to come in and be like super competitive. It is very much aimed at people of all kinds of skill levels. So if anyone is watching who, you just have a couple of friends you play with and you'd like to try your hand at competitive, it's one match a week for a few weeks in a row. We'll put you into a division with people of similar skill, so you won't get stomped every week. It is very much meant to be like almost an intro to competitive, if needed. So, but yeah. Anyway, registration's Thursday. We have Seeding 2 next Saturday. It's like 6 or 7 p.m. I apparently don't remember that one. Well done to me. Something like that. We'll do announcements. Some of you will know we're doing a rewrite of the rules this season. So many thanks to the many, many people helping us with that at the moment. But that's also almost done. So we should have the actual official rules out soon. And a couple other things like we'll be advertising for recruiting for the stream team soon, etc., etc. But yeah, keep an eye on the server if you're in there, or the Oceanink Squid's Twitter if you're not, because we'll put all announcements through that. But yeah, I guess there's still a few things to go, so not quite set up for the series yet, but we get in there, and only a couple of weeks till it starts properly. So
You have time.
yes. Cool. All right. I guess. Oh, hang on quickly. GK21 Sea Sluggers, Splatbacks 1-2 Sea Dragons. Well done. All right. I think that's pretty much everyone then. So cool. All right. I guess we should sign off. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you to Hess for running this behind the scenes as usual. Thank you for joining me, Yason. You didn't get to play today because you've been helping me all this time, but I do appreciate it.
I'll get my time in the series, don't you worry.
Fair enough. All right, and thank you for watching, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for supporting homegrown Splatoon action. This is 100% fan-driven stuff. We don't get paid to do this. We do it because we love the game, and we do it because we love our community. So if you want to support us and come back, just join the community. Just play some Splatoon. That's all we ask.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right.
Excellent.
See you.
Yeah. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye.